All right, well, we'll just start the show like that then. This is the 5 on 5 podcast presented to you by directmusicservice.com. Promo code 5 on 5, FIVEON5VE. Go take your butt over there. Go get you some new edits. Go get some remixes, originals, stuff from Danny Diggs, Audio One, Kevin Scott,
Mighty
Icon.
Moves.
Mighty Moves is on there now.
Throwback Brothers.
Throwback Brothers. I play way too much from Throwback Brothers, actually.
Same.
So the list goes on and on and on. Yeah, that'll save you 30% off your first month subscription. We're going to get right into it.
Hold on. When you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit the like, hit the subscribe, and ding the bell every time we drop a video. Let's go.
Perfect. I'm one of your hosts, Phenom. Down the street from me, Nick Lopez. Down the street from him, Jupiter Williams. Way up north in Anchorage, Alaska, DJ Gray.
Two detectives.
Way down in the bottom right, we're talking Jacksonville, Florida. I love this guy. I've been following this guy on Twitter, and then I've stumbled the other way onto Instagram now and finding him on there. Ladies and gentlemen, NICKFRESH. Make some noise.
He's fresh.
Yes. Nick, how you doing, man?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being
How y'all
here,
doing?
man.
Y'all doing all right? What's going on?
I mean, we're doing okay.
Not bad, man.
We're doing okay.
We're
We
doing
had our talks about WWF and everything like that. WWE and
man. Okay. Can we dedicate half of the show? No, don't do that.
please.
No.
Please.
Are you wrestling guy?
No, listen, I'm getting back into it. I now at least know at least 4 new people that I could just
listen. Now is the time to get into it too, because so much drama is happening.
Yeah, I love it. I'm telling you, it reminds me back when I was a kid,
Yeah.
But sexual stuff was allowed back then. I don't know. Now it's no, and then it's just all a part of the drama, Oh man.
Yeah. Life is infiltrating art.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Maybe a little bit too much.
Too much. Right. Exactly.
That's why this is a Grammy episode too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Carl.
I think I'm just going to get into it. This is going to be a lot of Grammy talk today. It's going to get fucking weird. It's going to get difficult. Nick, what we do around here every week, we compare 2 artists head to head, their top 5 songs on Spotify. And I think it's only right that we dive in today to the hot button topic that's been circulating the internet. I'm talking Beyonce versus Taylor Swift. We're going to go 5 rounds today. We're going to make you choose between this or that. I have a feeling it might be a little Beyonce heavy. I'm just going to go out here on a limb.
All right. I'm ready.
All right. Round 1, Taylor Swift, Cruel Summer, or Beyonce, Crazy in Love, featuring Jay-Z. Which way are we going?
We're going to go with Beyonce, Crazy in Love. Even though it has been played, I feel like it is played, or I've heard it so much to death, even over Single Ladies.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. It, but I'm not going to let Taylor Swift take that win here on this one. I'm sure it's going to get a little bit more. It's going to get interesting. Come on, what else?
Yeah.
What else you got?
It's going to get a little interesting.
It'll get a little interesting here. Round 2, Taylor Swift, Is It Over Now? Taylor's version or Beyonce, Cuff It?
Because I do actually. I'm not going to lie. I'm not like the Swiftie. I'm not a Swiftie, but real recognizes real. If you are going to write something that's kind of hitting the soul and piercing, I'm going to be like, okay. All right, I'll give you that one. And Is It Over Now is actually really good. Cuff It. Sorry, Beyonce. It sounds like it's in the same realm of Uptown Funk, like Carnival Cruise Line funk. So I
call that
don't like fucking with
Okay. We got a new playlist coming up.
No, seriously. No. So sorry. I love the edits of Cuff It, eccentric and crazy. Everybody deciding to, even that random little kid that lives in Wisconsin that decided to say, hey, let's throw cutie pie with Cuff It and everything and see where that goes. I prefer that over the original instrumentation. So I'll give this one to Taylor.
I'm right.
I honestly don't know the last time I played the original version of Cuff It. Yeah, I always play in the edit.
With you on that.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about Cuff It is it has all the pieces to be like a really fucking sick song, but it's so polished and so clean that it's
That's
like, of course it's gonna be at Six Flags. Of course it's gonna be on Carnival Cruise.
And that was
Like,
our problem with Silk Sonic.
yeah.
exactly.
Oh,
It's just
really?
it has
Okay.
all the pieces that you want, just too clean.
Too
Right.
clean.
Too
Right.
clean.
Too clean.
Like I just found out Sheila E is on Cuff It. I didn't even know that.
Really? Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that
she
either.
I didn't know
plays
that either.
percussion. She does the percussion
Oh,
for Cuff It.
who knew?
Interesting.
It
Oh,
had,
man,
again, all the pieces. You got
Yeah.
fucking Sheila E. Was it Niall? Who else is on there?
Yeah, Nile Rodgers is on
Niall's
it
on,
as well.
like
Mhm.
everybody's on there. You know, too clean.
Crazy.
I'm
Fair.
kind of over that. You know, I need, especially if we're dealing with, if we're gonna, go back or pay homage to
Mhm.
like the boogie funk and the disco sounds and everything.
Yeah.
I need. Can somebody actually admit that they're on cocaine so they can just have that BPM?
I was
just
gonna
go
say,
up and
once
down
you
and
take
all
the
that other
cocaine out of
stuff?
the equation,
No, I'm telling you, the thing when I started like diving back into like vinyl mixing and everything, it's like that's the thing that we're dealing with. We're dealing with terrible tape edits, and we're dealing with drummers that were pretty much just tooted and booted. So like,
Right.
I want that. I want
Yeah.
that on this record. I don't want it to be like so quantized and so pretty and pristine that you actually ultimately, if it's supposed to be sleazy, which Cuff It, in my opinion, sounds like, at least the lyrical content. Like, I mean, can I sit on top of you and all that other stuff? It's like, like this is supposed to be like boner inducing when you listen to it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
because it was all of that was taken out, you get
Mhm.
exactly what you're saying,
Yeah.
And as
Leave
for
the
Sheila E
stank
being
on
on,
Yeah. No, I
They
mean,
took all the stank off it.
took all the
Colin,
steak off it.
Colin, what is our favorite thing to do whenever we hear like a 70s song? We always like, hey man, how zooted were they in the studio?
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
literally anytime we
You
hear
remember?
anything like that, we're like, oh, the coke must have been flowing.
It's I'm telling you.
They think people are gonna be maybe turned off by a little swing to the drums if everything isn't perfect quantized, 4/4, like that. People are gonna be like, oh, or it's not radio friendly or whatever. I think that's a top down. I think that's coming from the labels, and I still think labels have some sort of interaction with Beyonce and shit like this, and being like, hey, this is the single. This is what we want to push. This is dope. Like. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but it's still dollars and cents at the end of the day.
True. But
they got to put it on the Troll soundtrack.
Right.
I mean, I have sat through, and I know that you guys have as well. But you notice some bands that do very well, and like okay, let me rephrase all of this. There was a band that was in Jacksonville that blew up. They were doing indie dance and indie rock and all of that. This was like the mid 2000s. And I remember following them, like, really actually going out, checking them out and everything. And it was grit. It was unpolished. It sounded unfinished. It was ridiculous how this thing worked, And then they got signed to a major label. And they ended up on shows like Yo Gabba Gabba and David Letterman and all that other stuff. But ultimately, they got panned because the record was too polished. It was like they took all of that grime and grit and things that needed pine sol. They took all of that out. And then to add the extra bonus to it, it was like, now we're in Jacksonville and these people are looking so jealous right now, no matter what, because they still ended up where they ended up doing these festivals and everything like that. And and the only thing that really, at least from my standpoint, that really did really well was the remix that was put out on one of their singles. And like I said, I'm trying not to name names.
Yeah, I can tell.
But like,
who the hell are you talking about?
We're talking about fuck it. We're talking about the Black Kids. The Black Kids when they were out. Black Kids were out and everything. So they are from Jacksonville, and a success story in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It's like I'm glad that we're actually celebrating somebody that's not Limp Bizkit or of the sort and everything like that. Which also they had a lot of grit and grime and I am willing to at least I'll dick ride $3 bill, y'all. I will do that.
Well, this is a Limp
I'm willing
Bizkit
to
safe
do
place,
it.
bro.
Yeah. Oh man,
It's applauded. That kind of behavior is applauded around here.
Absolutely.
That's
Okay,
what
good.
we like to see.
Absolutely.
Korn, Limp Bizkit,
Here.
all that. Yeah, any new
Listen.
metal, butt rock. Yeah, bring it on.
Listen, I was in the Korn cage when Korn and Zombie came to town and everything. They treated me like security. Don't give a fuck. I was still dancing my ass off in this cage. Every time I went to these rock shows, they thought I was security, bro. Like, like hate breed and everything. They're like, yo, pick up this garbage. Go pick up this girl. Fuck that. If you don't want to get hit, don't get in the pit. Like, for real. Let me do this. Like, let me pick up the change, please. Damn.
I love that. I love the idea of Nick waiting in line for the check at the end of the night too. Still though, being like, "Yo, like I was here. Like, where's my check? I'm clocked in." No, that's fucking dope. Well, since we're gonna dive into a quick sidebar, Limp Bizkit or Korn, who you got?
Korn ultimately, because they were more consistent. Limp Bizkit kind of suffered from the big head. Sorry, Fred.
Yeah.
Don't beat me up.
Yeah.
Don't come from Mellow Mushroom and come for me, bro. Like, don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's a wrong answer on that one. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
I mean, they were good for what they were, but like, also, I'm seeing like these revisionist people online also say like, Behind Blue Eyes was like one of the best covers ever, and I'm like, I just can't rock with that shit. I just can't.
No.
Like,
No.
I can't. No. Like, and these same people also like think that Disturbs the Sound of Silence, like that version is like better than
I hate that.
Simon and
I hate that
Garfunkel. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, what are y'all doing? Like, for real.
Yeah.
No.
Stop.
They weren't
now.
there.
Stop.
You weren't there.
They weren't outside.
We're not outside.
No. Disturbed had a couple bad covers.
Like, get the
Yeah,
fuck out
yeah.
of here. I swear to
Oh
God.
my God. Oh my God. Oh, we're getting back into the battle. This could go on for days.
Yeah.
This is a conversation that could go on for days. Round 3, Taylor Swift, Anti-Hero, or Beyonce, Halo. Which way are we going, Nick?
Ooh.
Anti-hero.
That's a good matchup though.
It's a really good matchup. Halo wasn't one of my favorite Beyonce singles. It wasn't.
Fair.
Like, it obviously sounded like we've got to make this adult contemporary.
We need a
have to
ballad.
find a way.
We needed one.
And and she still got it. And right on. But ultimately, Anti-Hero and the way that it's become very earwormish and everything. Like, I've found an editor 3, and I've decided to kind of mess with that too. Yeah.
Another
All right,
one for
Beyonce,
Taylor.
come on.
Another one for Taylor. Ooh.
He said he's not a Swiftie either. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Don't listen. We're just becoming friends. Don't do this. Don't.
Hey, you on our podcast, my guy. Just remember.
Everyone.
Sorry.
He's like,
Oh, I love this. Nick, do you want the 5th seat on this show for good? We might just keep you around, man.
Let's go. Let's go.
Listen, I'd love it.
We need you, bro.
Oh my God. Round 4, gentlemen. Everyone sit down. Back to your seats, everyone. Everyone relax here.
Hey, just calm down.
Taylor Swift, Lover, or Beyonce, Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It.
Come on. Just out of default, I'm going to say Single Ladies.
Out of default.
Jupiter was expecting me to say, Lover.
I was.
The way he said, "Oh, come on," I was like, "Here we go." Taylor Swift.
I know. I was like, based on your last couple of picks, I don't know. I don't know which way this is going.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I am a wild card. Okay.
I appreciate a good wild card around here.
I don't know.
Oh man.
I don't know what to say.
Hey,
gentlemen.
listen, the Dream wrote Single Ladies, and anything that the Dream writes, I'm with it.
Yeah.
Can we shout out the Dream for Yamaha? Can we, like, one of the best non-Prince records to ever exist?
Yeah.
Thank
Man.
you.
That's about as non-Prince. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got Yamaha, and he's got
Which record was that?
Yamaha and
Yeah, Walking on the Moon.
Walking on the Moon.
Walking on the Moon.
But you know what? Walking on the Moon, though, there was a remix that U-Turn did that, like, it was the funky stuff. Like, it was like a boogie version of Walking on the
Paul,
Moon.
I think you played that.
Yep, I
You
remember
play that version.
Everything U-Turn's made, by the way, put that stamp on there, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, one of my heroes, man. Absolutely.
Yep.
Mhm.
Four Color Zach, when I caught Dream and Hudson Mohawk was Zach DJing, and Dream opened up for Hudmo with a live band, which I thought was cool. Either way,
This was the $20 show, right?
It was
$20 tickets. Yep.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was a cheap show for sure. But Zach did Little Red Corvette into Yamaha.
Oh, nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh,
during the show, and then because it's pretty similar. We're just gonna round out this round 5 here. Taylor Swift Cardigan or Beyonce My House, the new single.
I don't think I've ever heard Cardigan, so I'm going to go ahead and go with My House.
Okay.
And My House also, again, if it had more grit and grime and gravy,
It tried to. It tried to.
It would sound like straight up like a different world, like black college campus, like that's the kind of stuff I was expecting. But of course, we already got that, like with her other era, but My House,
and that's why I think that song was left off the album. It's because of that. Yeah.
Right.
But no, I'm with you. It definitely tried to, especially at the end where they tried to switch up the beat and everything like that.
Yeah.
It tried.
Man.
Yeah.
To quote the late great Negro poet Whitney Houston, didn't we almost have it all?
And just like that, we got this week's clip. 1919, we got the clip for this week. This is fantastic. We don't need to do 2-hour shows anymore. We get our clips in the first 30 minutes. I love it. I can go about my day. Nick can go about his day. Y'all can go about your day. This is fantastic. We're done here. There's nothing else to see.
That's so good.
I'm not happy with that Taylor Swift and Beyonce, though, so I'm going to do something that we've never seen before. This is unprecedented territory. This is uncharted territory. I'm bringing in an emergency head-to-head 5 rounds rapid fire. Yes, that's right. We're doing 2 matchups this week. Since there was a Grammys, yes, good and great, dandy, I'm still going to stick with my original one.
All right.
Nick?
All right.
I'm talking Commodores versus OJs. We're getting into it right now. Right fucking now. Round 1.
All right.
Round 1. Easy from Commodores or Love Train from OJs? Who you got?
Easy by the Commodores.
Okay. Round
By a
2.
country mile. And it's only really, I know it's rapid fire, but I just want to say, because I sat through so many episodes of Soul Train, of them dancing to Love Train, I'm like, it's
Enough.
done.
Never again. Train's left the station.
Yeah.
It really has. There's no love on this train.
Yeah.
Good. Round 2, Brick House or Backstabbers?
Backstabbers, for sure.
Okay.
Fire.
Round 3, Night Shift or Used to Be My Girl?
Anything. It could be Chinese country. Anything over Night Shift.
God damn. He said Chinese country.
Which brings us to round 4. No. Round 4, 3 Times a Lady or Now That We Found Love?
Now That We Found Love, mainly because of all of the covers that came after, by Third World, Heavy D featuring The Creeper,
Right.
Aaron Hall,
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
the Lovers
yeah.
Rock versions. Love them.
Who did it best?
Who did
Heavy
it
D.
best? Heavy D. Heavy D. And that's also nostalgia talking too, because I was like 7, and that was like
Same.
one of the first records that I like
Same.
mixed with and everything, and I was like, yo,
Yeah.
Heavy D, and then the video, and he's like,
Yeah,
dancing and
yeah.
not losing breath and everything.
Right.
Shout out to
Right.
I'm telling you, I was
Heavy
heavy
D,
too.
man.
I was like, yo, this is my
Heavy
hero.
D.
I love
Shout out to the
Inspirational.
overweight lover. Original
Okay.
Drake.
telling you.
Listen,
also
Heavy D
felt
didn't cuss either.
Oh man,
Not until his later years. Not until his later years.
Until his later years.
Later years, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think it was
his
just
stuff,
trying
his
to keep
early stuff, he wasn't cussing on it.
up. No, it wasn't. Didn't have
Yeah.
to.
Didn't have to.
It's fire.
Yep.
And then the records that he had, like, Somebody for Me and oh gosh, You Ain't Heard Nothing Yet. I mean, like flipping these like wild jazz samples, which we know that was Eddie F, but like, and Teddy Riley and all that,
Yeah.
but like that was a
But
great
still,
time.
yeah.
I'm telling you, love Heavy D.
Right there
Round
with you.
5. Shall we round 5?
That's round 5.
Lady, You Bring Me Up, or OJ's For the Love of Money?
Because I'm in my boogie era and it never seems to end, I'm gonna go ahead and stay with Lady.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
It is. It is.
I love that.
But I'm also not
roll.
trying to deliberate in my mind. Like, we would be here for another 2 hours. Like,
I think
then
the best part of Lady is just the first roll.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Oh man. Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
And Lionel Richie's like sounding like he just came out of Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles and everything. Sings this record.
Yeah.
He probably did too.
I mean, just like balancing it too, because remember that year that was 81. So now you're dealing with him like really crossing over into like, okay, I'm gonna do this record for Kenny Rogers. I'm gonna write these records and produce these records on Kenny Rogers and whatever, and Endless Love and everything. Like, yeah. So he had a little bit of grit, which is important. I like that. If you didn't know that already, because that's
grit
is the magic word today.
Theme of the day.
I was gonna say that's the theme of the.
I'm sorry, friends. I'm sorry.
We need to. The playlist out of this is songs with grit.
Songs with grit. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, we have a couple playlists out for this episode already. So
Cruise.
The Cruise Line.
The Cruise Line.
Cruise Line.
Cruise Line R&B.
Yeah, Cruise Line.
The Cruise Line versus the grid. That's a good like contrast, right? It's
Absolutely.
It's everything that the grid
versus B-side
is trying to be.
Unless we do Cruise Line versus Six Flags, because that's the other option.
That's going to come up next.
Kind of adjacent to Six Flags, but I don't think it is.
No.
Cruise Line is like
not quite
on the nose,
because we're talking about international waters right now, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you have to pay
funk, where grit, real funk, human drummers, a little swing.
Yep.
So
some cocaine,
very much
some Quaaludes.
Because Six Flags is like
a lot of hot, sweaty studios.
It's fun. Yeah. It's silly.
Sweating on the instruments.
I think silly is the big thing for Six Flags.
And then you got to pay for everything too. Like, I mean, on a Carnival Cruise Line, it's Oh, I'm sorry. We're not taking this literal. I'm sorry.
No, we are.
No, we are. We are.
Okay, Carnival Cruise Line or a cruise line, because I don't want y'all to like lose your jobs over like possible.
I know, right? Because I'm going to be I'm going to be doing the Soul Train cruise.
Right. Yes. That is a goal. I would love to eventually make it on the Soul Train cruise, but I just don't make enough money in my spare time, I guess, to actually get on the Soul Train cruise. And here I am, running the world's largest Soul Train fan community. But that's another conversation for another day. Was probably happen a couple hours, couple minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We're gonna get into that too.
You get a lot of things, at Six Flags you get a lot of stuff, but it always seems to be a paywall, I mean, unlimited buffet, or I got to sit in line, got to stand in line, and I got to constantly stand in line for waiting for that one thing. I don't know. See,
listening to Cuff It.
Listening to Cuff It. Sit on top of you.
Yeah. The thing with the Six Flags music, though, and I love to hate to go back into this topic after we did mostly a show on it last week, is that it has these underlying tones. These songs have these underlying tones of like real shiesty shit, like Third Eye
Corporate
Blind.
America.
Yeah, like Semi-Charmed Kind of Life. If you really go in and see what those lyrics are about, you'd be like, what? Like, I wasn't like an adult until I found out what that shit was actually about.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we're like, oh, this is TRL. I just got done with school. I'm eating Doritos and a bologna sandwich. I fucking love this song. And then you go into the real shit.
You're listening to Peaches.
Yeah.
Was it President of the United States?
Yeah. Or Peaches and Cream.
Yeah.
Like when you're like young, you're like,
I like snacks. Yeah.
Yeah,
great.
why not? Right.
I
You
knew
piece
right
of cream
away.
right now.
I don't think that song was hard to decipher though when it came out.
I know,
No,
right,
that song
right.
was. Those
It
lyrics
What about-
were
was
very much.
pretty much in
I
your
mean,
face.
like Slim, and I quote said, "Oh, girl, you taste so good to me."
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
like I don't
Yeah.
think that there was.
Yeah.
I don't-
Or
yeah.
next, too close.
Oh yeah.
That's
Who knew
right.
that was a boner jam?
There you
Yeah,
go.
well,
That's
see,
on
they
a
cut
good one.
out.
100.
They
That's
cut that out on the
easily-
radio in it. You know,
They did.
I don't know if
Yeah.
she thinks I'm hard right
Yeah,
now.
it
It's like
starts
when
off. I don't know if she
when
can
I-
tell if I'm hard right now.
Mhm.
Or I
when
wonder
I
if she
first
can
heard
tell.
that, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, it's like I felt like my childhood was ruined. It's like, come on,
Also, leading the song with a self-diss is such a wild-ass move anyways. I don't know if she knows that I'm hard. Well, buddy, that's one way to lead
It
a
might
song.
be an
That's
issue,
for
but
sure.
don't let me tell it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, okay, we get it.
Boom,
You are,
boom, 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 boom,
we
boom.
get it. You are a grower. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's just a song right there. We'll make an edit of that where it's just that line of boom, 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 boom.
Credits.
Nothing. Yeah, that's it.
Sounds like a Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Losing
episode.
chord.
Yeah. It's like if they did Home Alone now. We have cell phones. That'd be a very quick movie. You don't
Yeah.
need to make a long, drawn out
Yeah.
movie about that.
Mom, I'm still at
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
I'm at home. Yeah. I don't know if she knows that I'm hard or not. Well, have a good night.
Seriously.
Jesus.
Okay.
And off you go.
Yeah.
Actually, it's going to be $30 at the door instead of $25 for
Yeah.
you. So, gentlemen, this is the lightning round. It's 2 artists. One stays, one goes. One is out of your Serato, off that wall of records. It's gone forever. This is only for Nick, starting with Jennifer Lopez or Christina Aguilera. Who stays?
Christina Aguilera.
Dang, I forgot that we did that one.
Last week?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I know, but I was too caught up in that AO and what she said about J-Lo.
Okay. So I only saw a piece of this.
Oh, just a piece? Girl went
just a piece of that.
off.
It was like, oh, really? What did she say?
Oh, she just basically said that J-Lo can't sing.
Which we all knew. But
We
she
knew
also
this.
said that she's like, I don't think J-Lo knew she can't sing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like J-Lo thought she could sing, even though she didn't record her vocals for most of those hits.
Right.
Yeah.
Like those aren't her vocals.
And she
And then
did.
Busy.
She
And
addressed
then they
it
were
on
both
Saturday
on
Night Live.
SNL. Yeah.
Oh,
She
she
was
was
like,
It is
sometimes we're
right.
24 and we say stupid things on podcasts.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, but
She said stood
she
her
didn't
ground on that
necessarily
one, man.
apologize, did she? I mean,
Nah,
like,
she
No.
didn't
she's not
though.
wrong.
Right.
She
She's not
wasn't
wrong.
she wasn't lying.
It's just one of those things you shouldn't, I guess you don't say. Like if you don't want to be scrutinized, but
Remember, they did not want J-Lo to be on In Living Color. Keenan
I
Ivory
didn't know
Wayans
that.
said,
Right.
Keenan Ivory Wayans said that she couldn't dance. So, like, I mean,
Mm.
if we're starting from there, like, I don't want to, like,
we're starting from the jump.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, starting from the jump.
Yeah.
I think she's just fine, man.
has everyone seen the trailer for her movie?
No.
Which one?
I did.
This Is Me Now. It's
Yeah.
an insane. It looks like a Fast and Furious / Lord of the Rings trailer, and it's crazy. It's an insane. Like, I'm obsessed with this trailer because also the trailer, the only backing vocal is her going, "This is me." I'm like, this is such a narcissistic thing. that she's
J-Lo's the
done.
equivalent of The Rock. J-Lo's
Yeah.
the female version of The Rock.
Yeah. Yes. Actually, right.
Quite
on.
literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of impressive that somebody can. I mean, I'm not famous. It's kind of impressive that somebody can make.
How do you preface what you about to say like that though?
Because I was like, if I was famous, this would be out of line. Like this would be out of pocket. But nobody cares. It's amazing that somebody can make such a massive career with like being minimally talented.
Bro,
I
we
think
know
J-Lo
the
is
truth.
kind of-
You know the answer to all that though.
She's fine as hell. Don't get me
Come on now.
wrong.
You know she's a plant.
Is
I
she,
think
though?
so. I think she's fine as hell.
I think
I've
she's a
always
plant.
Okay, well, I'm
like,
gay,
she
so
was
it
in
doesn't
my
really
binder
matter.
in
But,
middle
like, you
school.
know,
Can't
I'm
tell
just
me
saying.
shit. That's not even
She's fine.
Like, I'm just saying, though. I don't know. Like,
That's crazy. If she was in my binder, fam. That's wild that you would even be like,
I mean, she was in my
Like,
binder too. Like, I mean, look,
come on.
she had jams. She had jams and everything, you
But
know.
I
But
like-
like,
yeah.
I like
Yeah,
a couple of J-Lo songs. I just know
Yeah.
that's not her singing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's Ashanti. It's Ashanti
Yeah.
or some girl
Yeah.
that they picked up from the church next door of the studio.
Mhm.
Or like her voice altered. Like, because you hear her live, it's like listening to Mark Anthony. Like, ironically.
Wow.
That's crazy, bro.
Next one up
That's-
here on the head-to-head.
Have you guys listened to Mark Anthony live? That man
That's your
can't
guys'
sing either.
king. Neek, that's your guys' king, though,
Nick
bro.
Lopez is just like,
No, because his dad even is like,
He's your guys' king, though.
that's
That's your
crazy. No, he's
king.
not. We don't fuck with Mark Anthony, bro.
Bro, Latin people fuck with bro. If you
Not
put
fuck
Mark
with Mark
Anthony on and just keep playing it throughout the night, so
Or,
many Latin
not
people
Mark
love
Anthony.
you.
Sorry, I was thinking not Mark. I
Who are you
need
thinking
to
about?
retract.
Okay,
I need to retract because Mark Anthony can sing,
okay.
and
Okay.
I feel so bad that I just got this wrong.
No, we won't edit it. It's all good. We'll keep it
Don't
moving.
edit it. Leave it in there.
Okay.
I'm thinking of Enrique Iglesias,
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
and
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
That makes
Okay.
more
cool
sense.
because Enrique
Okay.
can sing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
song.
Yeah,
This
That's
makes
Mark
sense.
wild
We're
that I
with
said
you
that.
now. We're on board
So
with
if
you
you
now.
if you stuck through that last 30 seconds, please know that like I was so wrong.
Cut.
Enrique doesn't sing his own shit.
cut
Is
that.
that-
Enrique sings all his own shit.
And that's the
Wait.
problem.
Oh.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's the
You
problem.
messed up
Enrique
again.
does with
Oh, do you have the wrong
auto-tune.
guy again?
Yeah.
No, I got it right. I got it right. this
Okay.
time.
I meant Ricky Martin. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not
Ricky
Mark
Martin
Anthony.
also sings his own shit, and that I can confirm.
We're getting down to the end of the line here after Enrique and yeah. Oh,
Enrique does
God.
not. Enrique cannot sing. It's
Oh man.
historically bad.
By
Didn't
the
we,
most, let the rhythm take you over. By
There's
the
video.
most.
You can look it up. There's video, and I don't know how this happened, but like they auto tune his mics
Yeah.
when he's live. But there's video of the actual audio that's coming into the mic,
Yeah.
and it is so bad.
Oh no.
And
Yeah, I
they've
gotta
asked
find
his
that
dad
video.
before in interviews, like Julio Iglesias, like why haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
His dad doesn't like.
Yeah,
his singing.
Julio Senior.
Yeah, Julio Iglesias can sing his ass off.
Yeah.
all day
Like,
long.
why haven't you
So-
gone to see your son? And he's like,
He
I'll go
sucks.
see him when he learns to sing.
Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that VMAs where Jimmy Fallon did brown face and like the roach on his Enrique Iglesias face like got bigger and bigger
Yes.
and bigger.
Yes.
And bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Okay,
started
yeah. Like,
it started
every
filling
time
up his whole.
Every time I think about that, I think two things. The fact that like Jimmy Fallon was actually funny there. And then also the fact
That's so
of
true, though.
sorry, Jimmy Fallon, I know you. I'm sorry.
Don't
do
he's
that.
watching too, so
He probably is. He probably is. And the fact that I always think of that, and I also think about "Tonight I'm Fucking You." Like I like this song.
wait a minute. Like the Biggie and R. Kelly song?
No,
No,
Enrique.
remember.
Tonight I'm fucking you. The
Yeah, remember Enrique Iglesias?
Like electro.
You know?
who
and that-
who did that beat? Was that was like David Guetta?
David Guetta.
I don't
Yeah.
even remember.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. It all started to melt together after
Yeah.
Yeah.
like year two
Yeah.
of the pop EDM phase. Like
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh.
yeah, thanks, girl. I appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that wasn't that the video with like Anna Kournikova in it or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, his
No,
wife.
that's a different song.
That is
isn't
a
it?
different
Or
song.
is it?
That
They
is a
all
different
they
song.
all
though.
blended together.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
A big old mega
Yeah.
mix of nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
God,
Nothing
I
was
just wanna
said
apologize
in that
to
entire
Mark
time.
Anthony still.
Yeah.
Because that's your
I just
king.
want to apologize to
Nick.
the
Globus
entire
needs to do
Puerto
a
Rican
notes app
community.
apology.
He
That is your
He
king.
played Hector Lavoe, bro. Like I'm.
Yeah, he did. He did.
It's your
Listen,
king, bro.
sick right now.
Listen, let's give. I know that this is not my show, but let's give Neek this 1 minute to apologize to Mark Anthony in the case.
Yeah, Nick.
I don't
Nick,
need a
you got the
minute,
floor,
but
man.
You guys,
We'll judge the sincerity if we accept it or not on behalf of Mark Anthony. It has to be a unanimous decision. Go ahead.
Turn down your mic just a little bit.
Mark Anthony.
No, I'm
I
going to turn it up. Fuck you.
All right, turn it up.
Mark Anthony, I just want to say I know you can sing. You wouldn't have taken a role like the singer if you couldn't sing. We know this. I think just because I know that he dated Jennifer Lopez that I assumed, and that was such a that's such a I just made such a not assumed, I just made a stupid faux pas, and
Go on.
he's one of the greatest male voices of all time. Come on, man, I'm
Sorry.
He's like, come on, man, I'm cooking.
cooking right now. He's
It was,
due to your
it was a
association with
stumbling.
Jennifer
It was a
Lopez.
soup. It's a soup sandwich of an apology.
Can I just say, I like that the apology basically was, hey man, I know you got caught in J-Lo's trash vortex for a second, and that's why I associated
That's
you with
exactly what it
garbage.
is. It has nothing to do with him. Has nothing to do with him.
All right, so give us the apology already.
Sorry, Mark Anthony. I know you can sing. I absolutely apologize, and it's insulting that I confused you with Enrique Iglesias.
He's your king, bro.
Yeah.
He's
Is
our
that
king.
it? Is
He's
that
our
it?
king. Fuck it. I'm not
Is that
Puerto
the-
Rican, but he's our king.
Is that the conclusion of the apology?
That's the conclusion.
Gentlemen, on the count of 3, you're going to give that a thumbs up or a thumbs down if we accept it or not. 1, 2, 3.
What the fuck is a medium thumb?
Okay.
My biggest op.
All right. Well, you made it out of your own lightning round, Nick.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I can sleep tonight.
We've gone through one fucking round on this show. This is going to be a 10-hour episode. Next up, Talking Heads or Blondie?
All right.
That's you, Nick.
Talking Heads or Blondie? Who you got?
Oh! I thought you were gonna give me songs.
No. Just
Straight
artists.
ahead. One artist stays.
Ooh. Okay, for the impact for me, Talking Heads. Absolutely Talking Heads, because I love how their trajectory of their careers went and everything. I really loved, like, pretty much again the CBGBs, the frenetic kind of stuff that they were doing, and then the stuff that they were doing like Stop Making Sense, which obviously is stuff from before, but it was a little bit more sophisticated, especially with the likes of Bernie Worrell, and then of course Tom Tom Club and all that other stuff. So yeah, absolutely Talking Heads. Blondie, I still have some hits. I do love them. I will always still think that the Nerves version of Hanging on the Telephone, though, is always going to be superior. Not just because it's the original, but it's just it's good. I love it.
Okay. Frank Ocean or Miguel?
Frank Ocean.
Okay.
I just identify with Frank Ocean a whole lot. Love Miguel. Both these are very hard, but I'm like, again, just not trying to be here for like 12 hours. We got things to do. I get it. Got to get my female dog circumcised. I got to do it. I get it. But like at the same time, like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a reason with so little desire to question it. You could use that to get out of anything.
anything, anything. Because no one's gonna question it. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
you got too much skin. Oh, poor thing. And we don't want to do that to the dog.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so like, go home, go home.
Yeah.
And that just leads to me like watching Good Times, eating Fritos in my underwear, because that's the kind of life I have sometimes on a Tuesday afternoon. Okay?
Oh my god.
This is the quality content our listeners deserve.
Good.
This is what peak performance looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Right?
Yes.
Peak I love it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say it. Bob Dylan or Nas? Who you got?
Bob Dylan or Nas?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Both iconic New York songwriters, storytellers.
This is the trajectory the show is going in. Bob Dylan or Nas?
Oh man, can I just say? Can I give it a draw? Because I mean,
you
honestly,
can. That means
Bob
both
Dylan,
artists are gone.
Oh, both are. Oh. Okay,
Yeah.
so one or the other. Okay, all right. So, Bob Dylan. That's the way I am right now in my feelings.
Okay.
Bob Dylan. Yeah, even the weird Christian stuff that he
Oh,
came
yeah.
out with after his classic period.
Yeah, the
It's
Forgot
fucking
about that.
fire.
Bob
Forgot
Dylan.
about that.
Yep.
Good stuff.
I'm telling you that, and like, there's a song I really like from him, and it's only like an outtake, and it's like been circulating online forever. Don't Fall Apart on Me Tonight is
Oh, yeah.
like my favorite outside of I Want You, my favorite Bob Dylan record, you know. And then also my love has been only ignited for Bob because I watched the We Are the World documentary and
Oh, yeah.
everything. And like Bob Dylan struggling, and Stevie Wonder was like, "Yo, I got you." And then he proceeds on piano to do Bob Dylan, and now Bob Dylan has to do Stevie Wonder doing Bob Dylan just to get through this take. I thought that was incredible. I loved
That's
it. I'm
amazing.
telling you. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you. Yes, he could pass a mic to Mariah Carey. who's
Stevie
already over
could
here.
see. Stevie
can
could
do it.
see
He's
that
great.
Bob was
It's
struggling,
fine.
man.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, he was.
Stevie
I
could
mean,
see it. Stevie could see it, man. He
Stevie
saw
could
it
see it.
coming a
The
mile away.
foresight. Yeah.
He
I'm
saw
telling
it
you, the
coming a mile
foresight.
away.
Yeah.
A country mile away. That's a long. That's a long
I'm
way.
not taking the bait on this.
A
Y'all-
long train
Stevie
coming.
looking so far.
No, fuck
Stevie
that.
saw a
Stevie
long
Wonder,
train coming.
no, fuck that. No, for real. Stevie Wonder was over here saying, "I'm gonna drive everybody from Beverly Hills to Melrose and everything." I'm just saying, he's
What the
doing
fuck did I
that.
say?
Take
What
the
the fuck
bait.
did I
B.
say?
Take the bait. Okay, for
I'm
real.
not taking the bait. Stevie can't see.
Take the
Y'all are-
bait.
He's a funny
We've
guy.
done
Okay?
171 episodes of this show, and finally somebody brought up the fact that Stevie was a chauffeur.
Yeah.
No.
And
We've
radio.
talked about this. No, we've talked about this many times.
We have, not a guest.
Oh, no, not a
has
guest. Yes,
brought
you're
it
right.
to the
You're
table.
right.
A
You're
guest
right.
hasn't come in with their own preconceived conclusions.
And finally, I'm not looking like an asshole up here
No.
because I'm the
No,
only
Stevie
one
Wonder,
that
no.
knows that Stevie Wonder could see.
Stevie Wonder has been doing this to us the whole time. Remember the Fun Day video, guys? Neither do I. But for all intents and purposes,
I was like, nah,
please
Nick, I
let me get
don't.
through this bit. Please. He's driving in the video. He's driving. There was like a video where there was a commercial, or was that a movie where Ray Charles was like, "Yeah, next stop Melrose, I think," and he's driving the bus. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, this is a weird time in the '90s, and I believed it all. Okay, Stevie Wonder's driving. He's an Uber driver. He's an Uber driver, and nothing is going to tell me anything different. And I'll see you in 171 episodes to see somebody else say something else about this. Because honestly, it's going to take that long. It's going to, I'm here for you. I am. Seriously. And not
Thank
just
you.
because you're black either, and it's Black History Month. Like, I'm not doing
Thank you.
that. It's just you're spitting facts.
Thank
you. Know?
you.
That is it.
Did
That's
you
all I
see
got to
the-
say. Thank you.
Did you see the recent clip of him at NAM?
Oh,
How he
I
was
didn't
like,
see the
passing
clip.
the
I
mic.
saw
When he
the-
tries to shake his hand,
This. Okay,
and he
yeah.
goes,
So the Grammy party. Did y'all see? Like, okay, so Mariah Carey comes up on stage with him. I don't know if this wasn't NAMM. This was actually like yesterday or Saturday night. And Mariah Carey comes up and everything, looking all good and everything. And then Stevie Wonder, of course, they do the polite kiss and everything. And then Mariah goes to this mic, and then Stevie Wonder is like taking the mic from his podium to give to her, but she's already gone. So Mariah's right here, and Stevie Wonder's over here trying to pass the mic. And of course, it's already online. People are like, we got to forgive the legend and everything because, he was being a gentleman and everything. But like, of course,
yeah.
they're brutal on Twitter and everything about this, So
I'm gonna have to look that up.
I got to look
please
that
look
up,
it up.
too.
This
Prove that
happened
he's
just a couple
blind.
days ago. It did. I got
joking.
up this
He
morning
was
and I
joking
saw
on
it.
that one.
I'm telling you. He was just being a gentleman, okay? I mean,
Yeah.
or just going with
Shout
the bit
out.
very well. He probably
Shout out to Stevie Wonder.
He
shout out
sticks
Stevie
to the
Wonder,
bit.
man.
Okay. Wait a minute, I have
Shout
a
out
question
Stevie.
for y'all. If we're talking about if we're talking about Stevie Wonder, I know we weren't necessarily doing that, but Isn't She Lovely? Isn't that the most mid record on Songs in the Key of Life?
Neek. Neek, I'll let you take this one. Nico. Neek, where you at? Neek.
Talking to
Neek.
you.
I'm sorry.
Neek.
I just can't get behind the notion that there's a mid record on that song.
Isn't
that
She
album.
Lovely is mid. I'm
But
telling
if
you, I'm
we're
trying.
talking
I'm trying,
about
God. I've prayed. I've meditated.
no,
I am-
wait. Isn't She Lovely? The song about his firstborn daughter?
Don't give a
Yeah,
damn.
you should.
No,
Don't give a damn.
no.
Nope.
So funny.
No.
This is
Neek.
the hill I'm going to die on, friends.
Neek.
2024.
With Dizzy
Neek.
Gillespie?
Dizzy
So
Gillespie
I
no, that's Do I Do. That's Do
Oh,
I
do I
Do.
do? Yeah, sorry.
Do I
On
Do?
my
Yeah.
album. You're right.
Yeah,
No.
Upper Echelon. Upper Echelon Do I Do is. Like,
I still
Isn't She
can't take
Lovely?
No. I completely disagree with that.
Neek, I'm giving Neek on that one. I'm giving it to Neek.
No
Nope.
way. That's just a hot take for the sake of hot takes, Nick. You're just on fire.
No, listen, Nick.
You're
No,
going,
listen.
you're going nuts right now. That's
I am
crazy.
not going nuts. Okay, look,
You're
there's Saturn. There's, if it's magic, there's
heavy.
Nicolay.
Yeah, I know. Like those are deep, heavy songs, but
They're good though. They're good.
But to say that this
Isn't She Lovely?
Isn't She Lovely? Is it mid?
Mid.
All right, so what's the Sir Duke review?
That's
one of the best records he's ever done.
yeah.
Why am I
That's
talking like Larry David?
incredible song.
One of the best records he's ever done.
Sir Duke is like a musical masterpiece. That's
what I'm saying. Yeah, like I wish.
When's the last time y'all played Sir Duke?
out never.
I played it. I played it on Saturday.
I mean, there's a
Actually,
lot of
but-
songs that I don't DJ that
It was
I
for
don't.
families.
Yeah, it
I
was a
played
wedding.
at like corporate gigs.
Yeah.
I will say, Isn't She Lovely? I always forget that the baby crying comes at the beginning of that record. So sometimes I'll just throw it on and not think anything of it during like cocktail hour. And then the baby starts crying. I'm like, oh God. This is awkward.
What's this guy doing?
Which is my point.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like
One of the
Stevie Wonder
greatest,
just
like,
grabbing
oh
the
my God.
straws.
It's like if you have to explain, like having to explain to somebody that Stevie Wonder's harmonica is in his tone. Like you unmistakably you could hear Stevie's harmonica and know it's Stevie.
Right.
This is the perfect example of how to explain that. Like
it's just
listen to that song and you'll be like, that's unmistakably Stevie Wonder. If an alien came to Earth and you had to explain the musical genius of Stevie Wonder, who's possibly one of the greatest musicians to ever touch the planet,
You'd play as.
right. Or hell,
I feel like this is a great example of explaining Stevie's pop sound.
You Are the Sunshine of My Life, though.
There's so many good examples. He's the greatest musician ever. Like
He is. But I'm just
this
saying,
is not a bad example.
I'm sorry,
All right, Nick.
Sorry,
Soul
dog.
Train,
I can't even say this is a mid example. I think this is one of the best examples.
Soul Train historian, Nick, what songs did Stevie do on Soul Train live?
Let's see here. He did live. The only thing that he did technically live was Tomorrow Robbins will. I'm going backwards. Okay, so 95. Tomorrow Robbins will sing For Your Love, and then he did a jam session where he did Superstition and My Sherry Amore. Then in 91, he did These Three Words. That was live. He did a jam session with that, which was also My Sherry More. I Wish. And then it went into These Three Words. He did Loving You and Perfect Angel on the Minnie Riperton tribute episode in 79. It took him forever to get back on Soul Train 2. Obviously, 79, 91 with a jump. And he had time for all these other variety shows like Solid Gold and shit and everything. Like, he did do That's What Friends Are For, and I Can Only Be Me at the 87 Soul Train Awards too, the inaugural episode. Okay, keep going. Just trying to give y'all, I'm trying to at least give y'all all the information in a radio edit, not a disco version, okay?
Right.
Because y'all would be bored to death.
I promise you we won't.
No, we won't. Not this podcast.
You're driving right down the highway right now.
Yeah.
This is what we
All
like.
right.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, 72. Sign Seal Deliver was not live, neither was Superstition, but the Soul Train impromptu song that he did, where all the brothers and sisters get together. That was live, and that was amazing. Yeah, he had all the dancers surrounding him on the stage or around the piano. Don Cornelius is sitting with him with his big old basketball afro and everything, and basically shouting out to him what you need to sing and everything, which is really
Oh
cool.
yeah, okay. That's
Mm.
clip. Yeah.
Yeah. And Stevie Wonder's like, put your hands together, clap soft, and everything.
Yeah.
Oh man, Stevie,
Conducting the
love you,
crowd is
Stevie.
wild.
Yeah, and of course,
Put your hands together,
Superstition.
but softly.
Okay, yeah, put your hands together, clap soft. I love you. I'm telling you, I love you. I just don't like, isn't she lovely? Or I just called to say I love you. Good night.
I just called to
Like, if
say
you
I
did
love
this.
you is because that's like I was gonna call it later Stevie, but it's like drum machine Stevie,
Yeah,
and I hear you. I would agree on that one.
isn't she lovely though? I'm just saying, dog. I've tried. I have tried. Please don't kick me off of the show. I'm just
not
saying.
going to. We're allowed to our opinion. We're entitled to our opinions. I just can't get with that one.
He's like, I'm not going to, but I want to, but I'm not going to.
I'm not going to. I can't fathom that one. That one's hard. You ever hear somebody say something, you're like, I cannot believe that is your opinion, and that's where I'm at right now.
I feel like that was.
Right.
I feel like that was
Right.
everybody in the comment section of that Primo clip from Brent when he said
Oh,
Primo
That's
was
like
overrated.
exactly how I feel. I feel like when somebody says Primo is mid,
Oh.
isn't she lovely is mid, has me shook.
Well, we'll get into this then. Lightning round material. Nick, this is for you. Steely Dan or Gangstar? Which way you going?
Oh, stop doing that. Come on. Come on. One of my first concerts that I ever saw was Gangstar. And one of the last concerts I've seen was Steely Dan. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. I am going to plead the FIF on that one. I am
They're
not
gone. Both of them are gone from
both gone.
existence.
That means they both
just to
leave.
save them from being spared. Okay, take me instead, Lord. I can't do it. Okay,
A self-sacrifice. We've never had a self-sacrifice.
Absolutely not.
The first time.
We've never not the first. I'll let that one go. I've never seen a self-sacrifice.
Yeah. Lord, take me instead.
Nick has just ascended in the name of Steely Dan and Gangstar.
Yeah, just
It will come back to you.
And somehow my ascension music is going to be "Isn't She Lovely?" Watch.
yeah.
I think he said he wanted to hear that as he went out into the sky.
Just the baby
Nick's like-
crying though.
Nick's like, that's
Oh,
crazy.
no.
That's a good fucking song.
Yo.
And Dick said,
Oh no. Hey, I just saw the Stevie clip, man. With
Oh, the
Mariah.
guy trying to shake his hand.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
No. Handing her the mic.
Yeah.
Oh, the mic.
It's bad.
I swear I'm not making that up. That shit was crazy.
It's bad. Ooh,
Line.
it's bad. Damn, it's bad.
And it's like,
Okay.
and then you have like his handlers like at
Yeah.
the stage, like
Yeah.
trying to run, like, they already got it. She already got it. She already like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Oh,
Ugh.
speaking
Didn't
of
look
it's
good.
bad. Lightning round, Michael Jackson versus Prince.
Yeah.
That's good. That was
That's
good
for you,
segue.
Nick.
I know, no, it's for y'all. It's back to Grant because I'm not answering. Y'all just want me to die here. Like this is like death.
You
Like, I'm
already
just gonna-
sacrificed yourself one time. You can't IOU
God
a body.
Yeah.
Like, this shit. Come on.
Initial reaction, first thing that comes to mind, which way would you go?
I am okay, since I am a musician, somewhat. Classically trained pianist, trumpet, stuff like that.
No big deal.
Nah, unless you ask me to
Classically
play it,
trained.
and then I'm like, yo, dog, like,
Fair.
please move on. I
Play
started
taps on the-
DJing more, like, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I always tend to respect Prince a whole lot more, like his discography. Like, when I was younger, I mean, of course, again, the grit, the funk, all that stuff,
Mhm.
that was, being able to listen to Prince and also find the appreciation in things like Rainbow Children and like, some of his later work, Lotus Flower and all of that. I'm going to always ride for Prince. Like, even when Prince died, I'm sure all of us did a Prince tribute of some sort, like, a night
yeah.
or two, And I always felt like, at least in Jacksonville, where I was like, okay, y'all are going to hear all like as much good Prince or all the deep cuts. Because really, at that point, Prince was so protective of his copyright and whatever that like everything that Prince put out, other than Purple Rain, the album, and Erotic City was, and maybe Cream, it depends on how old you are, was pretty much, a deep cut. So okay. Lightning round, Prince. I'll go ahead and keep Prince. Michael, I love you. I love you so much. Ooh, goddamn. That was hard-hitting question. I mean, I feel that in my gut. I really feel like this is a life or death situation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how we like.
You get it. You
The
get
lightning
it.
round is supposed to make you feel dirty.
I feel very gross.
Hold on. There's 5 of us on the show today. We're going to do a quick Mount Rushmore Prince songs. Everybody gets only one song to add to the Mount Rushmore, starting with Nick.
Okay. Right now, because it will probably change next week or tomorrow. Sexy Dancer, Sometimes It Snows in April, Chelsea Rogers. Come on.
Late Prince, I like that.
Yeah, me too. I can't believe it just came out my head. And actually, I'm going to say Black Sweat, but not Black Sweat is not up there though. But it's still
good. But I hear you.
So good.
That's a hot take. Throwing Black Sweat on the top 5.
Fuck it.
I have a Black Sweat 12. I'm gonna start bringing that out.
I have it too.
Yeah, Black Sweat. Yeah. Listen. Okay, so Black Sweat, and then it's going to be Lonely. So we're going to do basically deep cuts. Yeah, it's going to be Lonely.
From those 5, you can only keep one song for the Mount Rushmore. Which one are you going to throw in?
Mount Rushmore only has 4, so you're getting a plus 1.
Yeah.
So which one? What did I say again?
You said, "Isn't she lovely?" 4 times.
Yeah. Me, I'm telling you.
Nick's taking that together.
Oh,
He's going to be eating like, I can't believe it.
Like Pablo Escobar on the swing, just thinking about things.
Oh.
Just in the shower with his clothes on, the water just running
I'm
down.
telling you, there's nothing but a crying game shower because.
Yeah, exactly. The crying game shower, man. That has to be the most iconic shower scene in TV or in movies. That shit was crazy.
Oh man,
funny.
Oh, so good. I'm telling you. That's why I tell people.
I need one song from everyone.
Damn it. Okay. Okay. So one song to keep.
Yes.
One song to keep.
One song on our Mount Rushmore of Prince.
Everybody gets one pick.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Black Sweat. I'll keep it. I'll keep Black Sweat. Yeah.
Nick, what do you got?
She's Always in My Hair.
Travis, what do you got?
7 Days.
Woo.
That's a good one.
Grant, what do you got?
Bat Dance. Bat Dance.
You son of a bitch.
I'm keeping
Mount Jokemore over here.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Just fucking put the whole soundtrack on there while you're at it. Open up the floodgates. I'm going to go with controversy, realistic adult answer here.
Yeah, because you got to tat it.
To balance out, to balance out Bat Dance. Yeah, I should tat it on me. Okay, yeah, that's all fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. We could be here for another hour talking about that.
All fun and games around here, huh?
Everyone's a comedian.
Everyone's
on
real
the show
funny
today.
around this podcast today.
Comedy Central. Nick, Hypnotize Minds or Swish a House? Which way are you going?
Swish a House.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go LCD Sound System or The Strokes?
All right, LCD Sound System.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Let's go.
Because the Strokes always insisted upon themselves. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you
like
there.
They smell their piss too much. Like Julian, come on, quick, cut that shit out.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's hilarious because it's true.
Right.
Yeah. Ashanti or Sierra?
Sierra. It's more entertaining to watch.
Okay. Diana Ross or Donna Summer?
I'm in my Donna Summer era. Even though
Okay.
Muscles, I'm still mad at Diana Ross. I saw her in concert right before season 1 into COVID, and she didn't do Muscles, and I'm pissed off about that still. It's been 4 years. I am mad about that.
Mad.
Why the fuck did you not do Muscles? Like, I mean, I came
I
here to see
love
it.
that song. You're right.
I'm telling you, dog.
Same.
And see, this is,
Same.
but then if we're like really talking about today, like it wouldn't have happened because I got rid of Michael Jackson, sacrificed Michael Jackson. You know,
There you go.
damn
There
it,
you go.
Damn, no muscles.
No muscles.
Muscles.
That's it. In the grand scheme of things, it's all about muscles. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Yeah. Tupac or Biggie?
Which one?
Tupac or Biggie?
Ooh, this makes me feel dirty too. So what I'm thinking about right now is like pretty much the discography of what I've listened to the most. If we don't have Tupac, we would never have horrorcore rap. If we didn't have, we wouldn't be able to have like fucking, you know, So Many Tears. And So Many Tears, ladies and gentlemen, is my favorite Tupac record. So as much as I love Biggie, he's got to go today. Sorry.
That's the most cohesive answer
It
I
really
think
is.
we've ever
Ever.
received.
I like
Ever.
it.
Yeah.
And also shout out to Shock G, which no one really knows was the one.
Yeah.
It's already listed. It's definitely listed, but he was the one that did that beat. And Stevie Wonder on a non-mid record sampled. Okay.
I'm not.
I'm not.
I'm not arguing with that.
Just driving it in.
It's gonna be a passive aggressive battle this whole time.
It really is. Like,
Nick
I'm gonna
has
end up
already
really-
ascended.
somebody's
Nick has
gonna
already ascended
apologize
and
to
Nick
somebody
might.
online,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
Live in
I've
DMs,
already
listen,
had to
I'm
do
so
an
sorry.
apology. So.
Nick might ascend during this episode as well. I don't even know. Oh boy.
Okay.
Let's go with Sade or Aaliyah.
Ooh. Sade makes more of an impact. You're talking about she has more of a discography. So absolutely, I'll keep Sade. I love my Aaliyah. Grew up with her. Part of my gay awakening. Love her. But like Sade, also part of the gay awakening and just heat. You know, I'll put out a record anytime I feel like it. Sade, I do.
Yeah.
And the
Hell
band,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the band, which
Right,
no one
and the
ever
band.
gives credit to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone
So
always
good.
snoozes on the band, which
Right.
is like,
The
I
Jamiroquai
can't tell
effect.
you. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the Jamiroquai effect.
Right. Or the No Doubt effect. Like, you know, there were actually 4 niggas behind her. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. It's Black History
You're
Month.
fine. It's
I mean, I'm so sorry.
No, this is good. This is good. Gosh, should we do it? Bee Gees versus Fugees.
Bee Gees.
Okay, easy.
Mainly because we're dealing with several different eras. Once again, the discography is just too deep.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm.
And the Fugees,
She-
let's be real, there was only one person doing the hard labor anyway. Lauryn Hill will be mad, but she'll be late to diss me anyway if she ever finds out.
don't even
You
worry
ain't
about it.
grateful that I got here anyway. Like, no,
You
Yeah.
got between 4 hours until it'll be seen. So you're
Yeah.
bitch, you're still late. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, you're still late. Okay, so
She got all them kids, man. She got to take care of the kids.
I want to do Chic versus Earth, Wind, and Fire. What do you got?
why? Why are we doing this?
It's the most common question on this podcast.
Why? Okay,
We
why?
made an entire show out of that question.
Yeah.
3 years.
Sorry, guys. You know,
Good
and
before
you're right.
this
And I've
year.
been
What's
watching,
fun?
like obviously, you know.
Thank you.
No, really, I really love the show. I'm serious. Like,
Appreciate
honestly,
that.
thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
But god damn it. Like, I mean, come on, guys. Like, you know.
Isn't he lovely? Nick Fresh, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Oh.
Who you got? Who you got? You can only keep one. Who
Okay,
you got?
okay. I have to say Chic.
Sick.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Chic. They basically, yeah.
Yeah.
No
Is that a hot,
compromising.
that's not a hot take, right?
No,
Do
I
we
just
agree
don't-
that's not
no,
a hot
I
take?
just I just don't think that they, like I said, Earth, Wind, and Fire compromised their sound quite a few times in order to stay relevant, and they didn't have to fucking do that.
If
Maurice
we're
White
looking at the grand scheme, yes, you're right.
Yeah, at the grand scheme. Like,
If we're
at
looking
the
at a
grand
wider
scheme.
lens, you're 100% right.
Right. I mean, yeah, seriously, this is 0.5. This is literally 0.5. Like,
Yeah.
A drone view on that. But, like, Sheik didn't have to do
EWF
that.
could have been a jazz band, right? Like, pretty much. Like, with
Yep.
Cortex, like, around that, like...
Absolutely. And they
100%.
technically were. They
Yeah.
technically were. I mean, I don't know. Like, that's also
I mean,
debatable, too.
I want to go back and listen to early stuff now that you say that, because I'm thinking of like Kool and the Gang when they were a jazz band.
Absolutely.
And then
Oh, my
flipped
God.
to a fusion band. But I don't know if EWF fully was a jazz band, because they were kind of fusion from the jump.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get that.
But like,
I can retract that.
Like late EWF, yeah. Like, I mean, I don't think it's as egregious as like the Commodores.
Okay.
Oh man.
I have a side note to this. I was DJing a company party like a couple weekends ago, and they had like a country theme. So I was playing country music, and then the woman that organized it came up and was like, "I don't think anybody's dancing. Just play some rock and roll, like Earth, Wind, and Fire or something." I was like, "Oh, right.
AC/DC, Guns N' Roses,
Yeah,
Earth,
yeah.
Wind, and
Earth,
Fire.
Wind, and Fire.
Stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Sounds like you know better, lady.
But yo, y'all remember that concert though? That like it was Van Halen and Kool and the Gang like 10 years ago. Do y'all remember that? They were like touring together.
No.
Yeah. So they came to Jacksonville and Orlando and I think West Palm Beach, whatever, and like it was Van Halen and Kool and the Gang.
Then, because they didn't come up to the Northwest.
I swear this was like it had to have been a statewide tour. I was like, that is ridiculous.
Dade County, make some noise for
Don't miss.
Yeah.
And the same guy doing the monster truck jam, spots and everything.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Oh,
What?
Nuts.
Oh my God! Was there like a super jam at the end? Because that's what I want to hear. Panama.
I would
with
love
Kool and
that.
the Gang.
yeah.
I didn't go to this concert. I did not go to this concert, and no one else did apparently, or people I knew. Like, I mean, of course, nobody
Yeah.
goes to Van Halen.
Yeah.
Like
Fans of Kool and the Gang weren't trying to see Van Halen. Van Halen fans were not trying to see Kool
Yeah.
and the Gang.
Very little overlap.
it's like the Kardashians passing somebody a Pepsi, passing the police dude a Pepsi. It's like,
Yeah.
do we really need this? What's going
Yeah,
on?
we didn't need that.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Oh.
I think we should get into it. We're gonna do the last question of the lightning round. We ask this every single episode: Outcast or Hall & Oates?
yes, Hall & Oates.
Okay.
Hall &
Okay.
Oates.
Yeah.
Now, have there been any other? I mean, I've watched a few.
There have been Hall & Oates. There have
It's
been Hall
gone.
& Oates.
Yeah.
In the
yeah.
recent years. Like a recent year.
Yeah, it's been pretty.
It's pretty one-sided, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always Outcast, though, right?
Yeah.
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 But we had some Hall & Oates.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Is Outkast on your top 3 duos of all time? Or
Yes.
top 5? Okay.
Top 5. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So that's still a tough comparison for you, even
a very
though
tough comparison.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up with. I mean, like, who didn't grow up with Outcast?
Right.
And
coincidentally, Hall &
We
Oates.
didn't grow up
for a
with
lot of
Hall &
people,
Oates.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Hall &
like-
Oates didn't, right?
I think Hall & Oates played in the background of most people's childhood. Absolutely. Yeah.
Remember, like Hall & Oates or I Can't Go For That is still like one of the most played songs in radio of all time.
Yeah.
So like it was playing at Outkast house,
For sure.
Black people love Hall & Oates.
Was
They
Hall & Oates on Soul
love
Train?
I Can't Go For That.
METHOD.
Was Hall & Oates on Soul Train?
Oh yeah, Hall & Oates was on Soul Train. Yes, in '82 they did.
I was
Maneater.
like, were they? But
Yeah, they were. They were on in '82 before Don Cornelius had a brain surgery, which was supposed to last like 6 hours, but it lasted for 21. But he was sharing the episode with Jerry Butler, and also one of the first episodes to have a music video. What music video, you ask? I know you're dying to know. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five's The Message.
Oh, The Message.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I was surprised too. Because of course they always
Yeah.
talk about how Don didn't like rap and all that other stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but here he is still playing it.
Wow.
That is very interesting. I want to get deeper into the Soul Train thing.
Hi,
I,
let's go.
I want to know how. I mean, obviously, everybody loves Soul Train. So to ask like why archive it is a silly question because it's the coolest. But how did you end up starting this page and making it such a like integral part of your brand?
Uh, it's not even a part of the brand. It's a part of me. Like, when I always had an affinity for watching, for TV and everything when I was younger. So it was always like, the music video, like some of my earliest cognizance of things was like music videos on BET and VH1 and maybe radio and stuff. I mean, my mother was the first live on air mixing DJ in Northeast Florida. I come from a media based background. Uh, but even to go further than that, she was one of 5 children who went into radio. My grandfather, following in my grandfather's footsteps, because my grandfather was the general manager of the first black owned and operated radio station in Western New York, WUFO. 1080 is the dial number, and it's also still in existence today. And when he was running it, it was so much of a threat that the KKK cut down the towers twice. So like, so all of this music and all of this stuff happening and stuff, and of course, I have no reason but to believe that I absorbed a lot of this music out of in the womb and all that stuff. But then also on the other end, Soul Train is a part of that cognizance. It's a part of that early memory, being in the dark before I was like 2 years old, like petting this Great Dane that my uncle used to raise and breed and whatever, and watching New Edition and Reby Jackson on Soul Train in the dark. It's like it was always there. It was always a part of me. It was always also, I guess, when I talk about it in later years, it's like about, I think it was the ultimate aspiration because I knew early off that I wanted to do music, but I also was into lighting and the tech aspects and everything like that. If I wasn't dancing on the show, then I would be performing on the show. If I wasn't performing on the show, fuck you, Don. I'm going to host it. If I'm not going to
No,
do
no,
any
no,
of that,
Shami. No, no,
you
Mr.
know,
Moore. No, you got to kick off Shami Moore.
the fuck them too. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, listen,
No, he's cool.
I am glad that Shamar Moore actually did end up in the Soul Train, multiverse. Because the thing is that if he wasn't on there, the show would probably ended around like 99, 2000. And no disrespect to Maestro Clark, it's just the feelings weren't there. But also to that, kind of contradicting myself because I do feel that, as Don said, as long as black music is hot, then Soul Train is going to be hot. It's just the way that they went about it in those later years. Instead of being in front of the curve, they were like kind of running after the trends. And I think that was the thing that really sucked about Soul Train. But anyway, um, I just love Soul Train. It was the ultimate aspiration. I was doodling about it. I was doing all this stuff. And then when the early days of the internet happened, um, I was just trying to find, representation, fan representation. And there was really none, outside of the website. Uh, and I was like, well, let's just see where this goes. And it was just trying to find like-minded people. Now remember, 2000, 2001, Soul Train is now like it's not what it used to be. It's still on the air, but it's a shell of itself. And no disrespect to the Soul Train people that might end up coming across this, but with that, I just wanted people to know what the history was behind it. Because every time we get a chance to see these clips of Soul Train, like Don was very protective of this copyright too. It's like it was crazy. You talk to your family. I talked to my parents about Soul Train, my grandparents, my aunt, uncles, and everything. They're like, you just don't know what you missed. Who would say that about a dance show? And then you watch it and you see clips of like Elton John and playing on a lucite piano, and then also like the Electric Boogaloo's doing the moonwalk, to Sexy Dancer by Prince, and Al Green. It just seems like a Tuesday, and Al Green is singing live and just like handling it in a cast. It's like that was what we were. That's as black people, as American musicians, that's where we were at one time in American culture. That's the thing that excited me the most. So by the time I was just a junior in high school when I started Soul Train Fans on Yahoo groups. I just wanted to see more. I wanted to see more, and I wanted to find people that were like minded, and they were older, because the new kids, they weren't watching that shit. Nobody was into Soul Train like I was, So that was pretty much it. And by the year, but because that was June 21st, 2001, or June 21, yeah, the June 21st. I'm saying it wrong. Getting all excited. Um, by June 21st, 2002, we had staff, we had dancers, we had longtime fans, longtime tech people, and even the pervos that came in and everything like that, that loved the show for what it became, which was pretty much a showcase of women dancing uh, excitedly to the new records of the day, which I think was kind of the reason why the Soul Train ran out of steam, because it ultimately it was one thing, and then it evolved into something that shouldn't have been in the first place, so.
That's interesting. I want to talk about. So it started like Yahoo, like you had your Yahoo page, and
We
it just kind
did.
of grown since then and
Yeah,
evolved
yeah,
with the internet changing,
yeah, we
social
had to do
media.
it. That kind of started with of course, the onset of social media, the new age and everything, when Facebook started to become a thing. MySpace, of course, can't forget about MySpace. Can't even forget about Friendster, because I had something over there too. So, like, we were trying our hardest to just make sure that we would meet anybody where they were at. you know um Ironically, though, once that kind of happened, people started to disperse. People stopped being on Yahoo for so long. Everybody wanted to go somewhere else. And we had to do the same thing. So Soul Train Fans ultimately ended up on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Yeah.
Um, I do want to talk about specifically the transition from like how we
That's
got.
exactly what I was going to ask too.
I want to
Yeah.
talk because I do find it interesting, but I don't know when that transition happened of how Soul Train became the '90s version of Soul Train.
Okay. Well, remember, Soul Train lasted for 36 years. We're not at 36, we'll say 36 because it started in Chicago originally at WVON, or not WVON,
Which, by
WCIU.
the way, if you go to the 1967 Soul Train, I don't know which episode it is. My mom's on it.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
we must talk
Yeah.
about that. Now, Soul Train started in 70, though. Don
Sounds
Cornelius,
like
the whole thing.
67.
It started, 1967. What is that? It might be like Big Bill
It
Hill
might be a
She might got her years wrong, because
yeah,
it
or
was
Red
back,
Hot
but
Blues.
it was back then. So
yeah.
There were a lot of shows. There were a few shows that preceded Soul Train in the 60s, and they were actually all on the same show or same network, WCIU, Channel 26. But Soul Train itself, the first episode aired on August 17th, 1970, with Jerry Butler, the Shy Lights, Gene Chandler, and the Emotions. And the Board and Trade building was no bigger than this room. In fact, it was probably smaller than this. There was like a fake train, and there were people, and basically from there it was overnight hot. Now, when Don decided to take it to LA, he also had the backing of Johnson Products, which was the single-handedly big black hair care company in the world at that point. So they were the makers of Afro Sheen, Ultra Sheen Cosmetics, later Gentle Treatment, and Classy Curl. Ola Ray, who later starred in the Thriller video, but currently at that point in '80 was also a Playboy pinup, playmate. That's it. That's all right. She ended up in this Classy Curl commercial, which also preceded all those Jerry Curl commercials, as being the first. And then also, again, Soul Train is now, again, once October 2nd, 1971 happens, Soul Train now is syndicated and is happening out of LA. And also simultaneously happening 5 days a week still in Chicago, still on WCRU. That ended in 1976. Soul Train, the one that we know, again, October 2nd, 1971, lasted until March 25th, 2006. So over the years, of course, as we watch how music changed, because Soul Train ultimately was the barometer for what black music was. No matter what, Don's take on rap or disco was, it still was, what black music was. And everybody was going to tune into it, especially the folks that were not in America. Because by the 80s, it was also in London and it was also in Japan and, South Africa and things like that. Um, but ultimately, I think it was just the slow decline of, or not decline. I don't want to say decline, but definitely in the 70s was not the 80s. The 80s was not the 90s. The 90s
Right.
was not the 2000s. It's just, I think it was just pretty much what was happening and what people's, I guess, allegiance and care about it was. And then you miss the things that you've got until they're gone. When Soul Train ended, people wanted it back. People still want it back, but they want it. Everybody, it's like politics. Everybody wants this pizza. Like they want all their specific toppings on this pizza, and it's not appetizing, and it's not loving, and it's not good. People are trying to figure out now. At least I'm hoping that, like when I was working with Soul Train, and that was in the late 2000s, early 2010s as a creative consultant, everybody was trying to figure out how to bring back Soul Train in a way that would be not only appeasing to the ancestors, but also what was happening, like something that would be modern enough to be accepted by people that were watching. And it proved to be kind of difficult. But I still think it could be done. Because again, if you got TikTok, if you've got all these other things that are happening in the world, where people are still watching people dance and everything, you could have a Soul Train and it could still work.
Do you think?
What were some of the? Oh,
Oh, go
go
ahead,
ahead.
guys.
I was going to say, what were some of the acts that were kind of thrown around as far as like a later idea of Soul Train? Like, what would
Uh,
that look?
Ooh, I remember them talking about how they wanted to have Justin Timberlake on like the inaugural episode, because the demographic, it was supposed to be on a major network, and they were saying that, yeah, the demographic is only like 25 to 54. These demographics like Mexican women, and it would be on a Saturday and whatever and stuff like that. But they were saying Justin Timberlake, and a lot of people were like, for obvious reasons.
I mean,
Even though
why
he was
wouldn't
like,
you? Why not have Usher?
I don't even know why not. Like I said, I have no idea. Like I was close to the fire, but not close enough to feel the flame. So
Hmm.
so basically, from what I heard and what they were saying, they were like, "Yeah, we're going to go forward with Justin Timberlake, but Justin Timberlake is also too busy." And I'm like, "Okay, but then what about everybody else?" And then it kept switching hands, like the Soul Train franchise and trademark and copyright and whatever started changing hands quite frequently. So when Don sold it, he sold it to Mad Vision. Mad Vision was basically an all black brand, and they were a startup and they were doing very well with it, but they hit a wall. And then they sold it to Magic Johnson, the Magic Johnson wing of Vibe Holdings, and like that ended up getting the like some older episodes, like 100 episode package on the air. So now on Bounce and Aspire, you're seeing these episodes, and Centric, you're seeing these episodes of Soul Train like happen. And then a couple years later after that, it ended up with BET, and BET ultimately is Viacom, or now Paramount Global and everything, which ultimately is kind of what a lot of people say, is kind of the sad thing, because it's like Soul Train was a black show when it first started, and Don was like, you basically have to kill me to take my brand and everything. And this includes major networks. This includes all these people that don't have the best interest in mind, and it ends up with Paramount Global. So now people are trying to figure out exactly what's happening next, especially because now there's that conversation where Tyler Perry or Byron Allen are going to buy BET and all that other stuff. So people are trying to figure it out. And I don't know. Like I said, I've also been DJing a lot. I was DJing a lot even back then and trying to focus on my own career and all that other stuff. So and then also dealing with copywritten material is always this guerrilla thing that I've had to constantly do. And it's a lot of work to keep up these, these fan pages and everything like that. And it's hard. It's hard to do it when there's always a threat of your stuff being blocked or cut out or even just dropped altogether. You wake up and it's gone. And that happened to me about YouTube a long time ago when YouTube started. That's the reason why no one can be Nick Fresh on there, because I that was my mistake. Posting all these Soul Train clips under my own name.
That's what I was just gonna ask is how complicated do you think getting even old episodes aired is gonna be because of copyright issues these days?
Oh
Like,
man, it's in the same way like American Bandstand. Like the
yeah,
thing is that I think American Bandstand also has like or I should say, Dick Clark Productions. They had a licensing wing, so like they were like, okay, well, we can do this. I mean, we started seeing Bandstand episodes in the mid '90s on VH1. We were getting 30-minute packages, and they showed 2 years of them and everything. And they went even further back, like to 1967, like with Van Morrison and Stevie Wonder, and as late as '85 with Katrina and the Waves and Tears for Fears. Like we were getting all of those, and I was hoping that we were getting the same thing with Soul Train, and we did. But that was also pretty much the swan song for Don Cornelius. By that time he was ready to sell the brand. He was having significant health issues. Um, it would be difficult. I don't think it would be that difficult, but I think it would take a lot of time because again, you're
right.
dealing with 1,117 episodes of Soul Train,
Damn.
and a lot of music. In fact, I comprised or I put together on Spotify by season the songs that they played on Soul Train in chronological order
Oh wow.
by season. And I've only gotten up to like episode 20 or season 25 and everything. I got 10 seasons left.
He
And
said
this
he
is
said
also
only.
Spotify
He said
only.
only.
Wild, man. That's so cool. That's so
And I'm
sick.
telling you, but no. I mean, you're dealing with like 30, 40 songs,
Per
50
episode.
in some cases. So all of those got to be basically accounted for, you know,
Yeah.
and everything. So like, yeah. So it's like, and then of course, even the whole thing of now getting clearance from some of these people. There were different rules for like these variety shows and everything. So yeah, it will prove difficult, but I hope they actually do it. I would love to see it in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Nick,
Again,
as history's gone on, have you noticed more and more of those songs that you're cataloging have been completely forgotten and just the hits are being retained?
good question. Absolutely. And I see that just, DJing and stuff. Now, I have been DJing professionally for I started DJing when I was 7, but I started professionally when I was like 23, 24. And it's the classic case, of Michael Jackson and Prince and Stevie Wonder. And I know y'all know this. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I, including you in this, but people only seem to know like an album and then
Oh
maybe a
yeah.
song or two, and
Yeah.
it's like it's being condensed, like
Yeah.
Prince, Purple
Yeah.
Rain, and then everything else. Like it's
Mhm.
like no, like he literally had like a legit body of work. Same with
Yeah.
Michael Jackson. Why Lump off the wall into Thriller? Like we finally
Mhm.
got to a point. I would say like 5, 6 years. If real, like we're talking about mainstreamers now. We're not talking about like DJs because
Yeah.
DJs, of course, we do the research. If we're really actually, about this whole thing,
Yeah.
we are doing the research as we go along. Mainstreamers, they only thought that like we finally got to a point like 5 years later after his death where it's like, okay, there is Off the Wall, there's Thriller, there's Bad, Dangerous, and
Yeah.
Invincible, and all that other stuff. Blood on the Dance Floor, even that. How could I
Mhm.
forget that?
Yeah.
Like yeah. So we're getting to that point finally that people are paying attention, but it's still a lot of willfully ignorance. Willful ignorance when it comes to discographies, to like things that I mean, even with like Soul Train and stuff. When you have Soul Train parties, Soul Train lasted more than the '70s. Sure, it's the most iconic time in the upper echelon, the McDonald's fries, and I mean that with the most love. The McDonald's fries of what the echelon of what Soul Train was. But there was also the '80s, the '90s, the 2000s, and I also think, especially with the hard work that the dancers put in for craft services and no name soda and KFC boxes, that they should be recognized too.
When did Don like stop being on the show?
1993.
So he went on for a long
1993.
time.
So 1970 to 1993, There were some episodes where he like had a guest host. There was
Mhm.
one episode where he did with Barry White. Uh,
Mhm.
there was one episode, Richard Pryor, that was the first one. In 75, the 74, 75 season 4, season finale. Richard Pryor, that was a top 5 episode for me and a lot of us. Um, but the official end was definitely 1993, and that also coincided with the set change, and also pretty much 7 years. Actually, not 7 years. 93, 5 years. We're dealing with 5 years of just guest host and everything.
Mhm.
And there were some people that were like managing to come back, like come back for seconds, like Tisha Campbell, uh, Thomas Michael Ford. Uh, yeah, Shirley Ralph came back twice. It was like, yeah, so like there were these candidates that would come back and everything. Even Shamar Moore did twice,
How did he
but
land it?
he landed it after Maestro Clark. Maestro Clark
Okay.
got it in 97, 97 to
Uh-huh.
2000. And we're talking like mid-season, Shamar Moore replaced Maestro Clark for whatever reason. Because Maestro
Okay.
Clark kind of doesn't want to talk about it. I hope
Okay.
one day
Yeah.
he does. And even Shamar Moore kind of dances around I think thanks to these Gen Zers, we're actually finally getting to see Soul Train put in a different light in the
Mm.
2000s and everything, because people were calling it corny. That wasn't my words, because here I was recording every week. It
Yeah.
was like,
Right.
I've got to
Right.
see it. Nina Sky playing to pretty much only a few dancers, sure, I'm down with it. Freddie Jackson, sure. Past his prime, absolutely, I'm going to watch it. That's me.
It is
So yeah,
Yeah.
interesting because Soul Train did kind of set the tone for like what the late 90s MTV dance thing
absolutely,
became.
Oh, 100%.
absolutely,
Like it went from these American Bandstand Soul Train style shows where it was like dancing and all that, mini games and then a performance,
yeah,
and then it turned into full blown like 30 minutes of watching people club,
yeah.
Mhm.
like,
And the thing,
and
oh
With Simon
Soul Train
Rex,
kind of
right? Wait a
evolved
minute. Who
into
was it?
that
Who was
where
it?
it was
Yeah.
the hip hop version of that, where like later it became like dance music versions of that.
MTV
yeah,
did the grind and stuff
The
The
like that.
grind.
Yeah, the
yeah.
Yeah.
grind,
Club MTV, Club
Club
MTV gave way
MTV.
for the grind
MTV.
too, of course. Can't
Yeah.
can't forget about downtown Julie Brown, of course.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
But also even Electric Circus on Much Music in Canada, where that was the pipeline. Like when I started getting into house music and everything, there was a channel that shared, like it was like they would put up school bulletins and whatever, and like during the weekends they would like cut over to Much Music. So I got a chance to watch Electric Circus and like see like Soul Searchers and or Soul Searcher and like all the things that were happening at that time. Alice DJ performing live at Winterland and stuff like that. It was like
Mm.
that was the kind of stuff that I was into, but you wouldn't get that. And it was like it was like, okay, as I delved like even deeper into Soul Train's like archival library and stuff, it's like you had Yellow Magic Orchestra on Soul Train. You had you had these people that were on the show that were, I mean, in less of a better term, iconic. Um, and sometimes Don would go with it, on the music choices and everything. But I just felt like, especially like from 99 on, like we should have been embracing Daft Punk. We should have been embracing
Mhm.
like Justice and everything. Like
Mhm.
like all the French heads or the French house records that were sampling the records that they were
Disco.
playing on Soul Train
Yeah.
in its prime. Like,
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
they were doing that like in the late 80s. Like, if it was like a record that War was like sampled on, like Poor Righteous Teachers Rock This Funky Joint, it was like, okay, that's Slipping in the Darkness by War. That was Don's Boys. It's going to be played. And it was.
Mhm.
It was in rotation
Mm.
alongside Black Box's Everybody Everybody. Like like it's like we were so close. Like we were so
Mhm.
absolutely close. And then it just felt like they went one way, like just went, okay, we're gonna play not only all hip hop, but we're gonna play all California hip hop. Like,
Right.
Mm.
and it's like there was not that much variety. And like I said, no disrespect to the Soul Train folks. I know that y'all were just trying to keep this on the air. It's like
Totally.
I get it. totally and fully. And they managed to break records. Soul Train is now considered not only just the longest running black show in America, but among the longest running any show in America. I mean,
Yeah.
next to Mutual of Omaha's, Wild Kingdom and Wheel of Fortune, which finally surpassed Soul Train after a couple years. So like I know
It's
it's
kind of
yeah, I just
wild to think, and
yeah,
it's kind of wild to think what that could have looked like, and I understand the difficulty in that with providing variety, because in the early days, in its heyday, it's like R&B, soul, and you know what I mean,
right,
like, and then disco and stuff, like, so it's very
absolutely,
it is a very, like, niche, like, it just
right,
happens to be a popular thing, but it's a
right,
very, like, specific thing, and then once it gets later and black music expands into dance music and
right.
it's not like Soul Train was exclusively black. We did have white acts and, different
Absolutely.
races, Yellow Magic, Elton John, etc. But like later into the 90s when it could be dance music
Yeah.
and it could have been so many different, like, how do we then pivot back to hip hop and R&B and
You could have done it all. Because when I was a kid, I mean, listen, when I was younger, believe it or not, in Jacksonville, there was somebody, and it wasn't my mom. She was a program director and all of that. She was one of the first black female program directors in the state of Florida, right on to her, right? And music directors and all that other stuff. But I remember specifically hearing on a black radio station, trying to stay up as late as I could, Cocteau Twins Lorelei, and also 50/50
Wow.
Clown. The thing is, it could happen. You
could
know,
happen.
Yeah.
we were put in these boxes and we, like fools,
Went
generally,
with it.
we accepted it. We
Yeah.
didn't have to
Yeah.
do that. If it's
Yeah.
good, then it's good.
And it
I
should have
mean,
just
like,
been on there.
yeah. Like if I mean shit. Like, like really. I mean even BT was like that. Like,
Yeah.
it was no thing to see like Paula Abdul next to like an X Clan video back when we were
Yeah.
kids
Mm-hmm.
and everything like that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was there. Like that's the thing that I really hate about like now. It's like, and again, still DJing 3-4 days a week, weddings, events, festivals, live streams, whatever. You know, it's like the only box that you're putting in, you're only putting yourself into a box if you're not allowing yourself to listen to things that don't either look like you or sound like what you like. You know, I think
Yeah.
that is the main thing that I'm trying to just share with everybody here now. It's like, seriously, you have all this music and you have a big old paintbrush, and you mean to tell me you are only going to pick one or two colors in this whole thing?
Right.
Come on. Andre 3000 comes out with this record. Sure, it sounded like a little bit of noodling, but at the same time, it's still a step in the right direction where it's like, look, there is more to this world than what you have been told that you want to listen to, you
Yeah.
know? And plus,
1000%.
also a whole thing of samples. Like, seriously,
Right.
seriously, he's giving you the tools. Why
Yeah.
not be it from somebody that you trust, you know?
Yeah.
That's that interesting uphill battle that we face every night, though, where we go out there and we're like, hey, I got this, and this. I'm going to see how much of this I can get off
Absolutely.
before you
Oh,
come up
God.
and be like, hey, I don't want this, and this.
Bad
You're
Bunny.
going into war every single night and being like, hey, I don't know how to not paint with all these different colors and all these different brushes. I simply can't deliver a picture to you unless I use all of my tools.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that takes years too. Like
Yeah.
I think, again, I am coming from a fortunate place. Again, I started in Jacksonville. It's been my home base. I'll play anywhere that anyone will ask me to play, as long as I'm able to travel and do it and stuff. But like it is an uphill battle because now you're dealing with mainstreamers. And now you're dealing with folks like, when I was younger, I was always told like you play at a gay bar, you know, these the LGBT QIA plus community is going to dance and rock to anything that you want to rock with and
Yeah.
everything. I was told that by DJs that were in the fold, some legendary folks and stuff, who were also big fans of Soul Train and stuff. It's like, but now it's a little different. Everybody's like, and again, I know you guys know this. I know that this is like, again, this is like common belly aching, but like it is difficult to try to do that. and and now we all have the tools. Like if we're especially if we're on Serato and all of that, or know our way around all these, production things, where we can make these edits and all that other stuff, where we can use our wildest imagination and go to where we want to go. It's really hard though, because again, nobody wants to get on board sometimes,
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
like, why can't you just play Bad Bunny? Why can't you just do Taylor Swift? Like, I feel like Whitney Houston didn't die just for people just to listen to fucking I Want to Dance with
Dance
Somebody.
with
Like,
somebody. Yeah.
she didn't die
Yeah.
for that. She did not die in a bathtub for that shit. She really
Yeah.
didn't,
Right.
you know,
Right. Right.
among other
Right.
things. I mean, like I said, I
Yeah,
know I'm
right.
preaching to the choir, but I don't get that many times to be out here talking. So,
Yeah.
so like,
But
That's why
but
we
you
here.
wouldn't
thank
want
you.
to do the job though if you couldn't do it all. If you were forced to one lane, even as much as we love funk, even as much as we love disco, if someone walked in and they're like, "Hey, I only want disco from you anytime ever again," you'd be like, "I don't think I want to do this job anymore."
Right,
Right.
You know?
right.
Yeah.
And to go into that every single night knowing that that's on the other end somewhere in that room, you have to spot it, it's automatically going to be conflict no matter what.
No matter what.
No matter what.
No
Yeah.
matter what. And I don't like being put in a box either. Like, I don't want to be like,
Hmm.
I think it's really hard. Like, I mean, even of course, when people see me do these live streams, I am playing the things that are nearest to me. Like,
Yeah.
I can't just run out to the store and like go buy like a burial record or something that's like, something that is expected, not expected of me and everything. You got to either order it or you got to go to these record fairs. And of course, that's also another conversation for another day. So like, it's like I don't want to be just that funk dude either, you know.
Yeah.
But also I think it is important on in that realm that where this music comes from, because again, George Clinton is still just as influential as the people that he loved, the Beatles. And there's no getting around that now. So like,
Hmm.
yes, it's okay to listen to that and the stuff that came in its wake, Roy Ayers and New Edition and Sade and like all the Brit funk stuff and all the stuff that like the Italo records and city pop records that were influenced heavily by the things that were happening in America at that time.
Yeah.
Which like, why not listen to this stuff? And
Right.
and also, I'm I also want to say this, and I'm not trying to be an asshole when I say it, but it's like I do appreciate when DJs come in and they listen and all that other stuff, but I know that I'm not doing it for them. The majority of people that are in these live streams are folks that have no idea what these records are. You know, um,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be in a jerk off contest with anybody about that. It's like,
Right.
well, I have this record. No, I don't. I don't want to know. I like, cool. I'm glad that you have
Yeah.
like that rare ass record and everything like that.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get it. I'm still trying to save that money for it and everything. Spend my basically go fuck a girl or get some shit together and then sell my firstborn for these records. Like I can't
Right.
do that. I'm not there yet. It's like,
Right.
but I'm doing my best to show you everything that I've
Yeah.
got. Like the stuff that influenced me. Your Dave
Yeah.
Funks and your XL Middletons and even you guys. Like it's like the stuff that I've heard. Like you know Vanam putting out that Ahmad Jamal's like edit and everything like that. It's like these are the things that I'm trying to show you. And not everybody can be on the front line. Not everybody
Hmm.
can be on the front line doing it. And I get it. Like I'm trying my hardest to reach those places that I really wanted to. Those festivals,
Yeah.
playing these clubs that everybody's done and everything like that. Get out of fucking Jacksonville. I would love it.
Right.
No disrespect to Jacksonville. I'm very appreciative that you guys still care, especially after these 5-year cycles and be able to see that and people still come out. I appreciate that. But I would love to continue to go higher and bigger and all of that. But I also realize that not everybody can be a Questlove. Not everybody can be that, And sure, maybe I could be. I'm trying not to be corny. I don't want people to know that I don't want people to think that I'm just this dancing dude and everything trying to do it for clicks. It's not that. There's also a whole other story with that too. A lot of trauma that I'm like carrying and trying to let go. So it's a lot. I'm not doing it for these DJs. I'm doing it for these folks that have no idea. They may be
Yeah.
white, they may be black, they may be, trying to find the sample, the beat makers and all that other stuff. Just trying to give them something like, yo, it's right here for you. Like all you got to do is just receive it. That's it. you know.
Yeah.
So, oh,
Very
I'm
true.
sorry. Whew.
Don't
Excuse
apologize
me.
on that
I'm
one.
sorry.
Don't
Yeah.
apologize on that one, man.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
You
saying.
were cooking.
Yeah.
You know, and there needs to be more people in the community serving a purpose like that, instead of just being like, hey, how much does this pay? Cool,
Right.
thanks so much, I'll see you later. Oh,
Yeah.
you don't have any association, you don't have any heartstrings when you play a song, you don't have any favorite songs, you don't have any favorite artists that you fucking ride or die for. What are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
What do you like? What walls are you holding up in the DJ community and the producer community where you're like, hey, I need to just do this because it's a good paycheck? It's
Right.
not even for the optics anymore of like sleeping with people,
Right.
because like in the grand scheme of things, like DJ, it's not 1999 where they're like, oh my god, look at the DJ, blah blah. You know, it's
Right.
like these are working fucking people,
Yeah.
and under kind of not the best conditions
Not at
anymore
all.
either, or the respect, or the any of
Not.
that. You know, the
Yeah.
glitz and glamour days aren't really there unless you worked your fucking ass
I'm
off
telling you.
and produced like 9 million records and then got the
Hello.
$100,000 paycheck.
And it's difficult. I mean, you're talking about, I mean, really, ultimately, I wanted to be a radio DJ. Like, like follow my mom's footsteps. But I remember I was also in like a metalcore band at the time, too. This was like also around the same time Soul Train fans started, like 2001, 2002, 3, you know. And it was like I was starting to see the changes in radio and how it was no longer like having like the mainstay foothold thing, you know.
Yeah.
And
No
then, of
longer
course,
having
not
the
to mention the
influence.
dog, the pay was shit. You know, it was like here I am working at Clear Channel, which is now iHeart, and they paid their part timers shit, and it was really sad to kind of deal with that. You got to grind. This it's I guess saying all that to say this, and to quote Marvin Gaye on an episode of Soul Train. In fact, one of his last appearances.
Hold on, gay family. This is Nick Fresh. He's quoting Marvin Gaye. Please don't sue us.
I'm sorry.
Go
My
ahead.
bad.
I had to preface that real quick.
Maybe we should move past that. Maybe we should move past this. I don't know. Okay.
My
No,
bad.
but
I had to get that off. But go ahead.
thank you for that disclaimer. Marvin Gaye said that you got to put it in your mind that this is what you want to do. So my goal ultimately became switching from radio to saying, okay, I just want to do music for the rest of my life and find a way to be comfortable. I don't want to be Michael Jackson famous. We already see where they got him, you know. But I do want to feel like I am making a difference. And I also know, once again, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I've dealt with a lot of trauma in my life and everything. And like, losing my father, losing my brother at an early age, grandparents, all that other stuff, a bunch of my friends and all of that, that you have to, well, and actually don't have to, you see the healing quality and the purposes in music, and that is the reason why I feel like I've been put on this earth to do. Like, I feel like, like after all these years, I tried to switch it up during season 1 and 2 of COVID. I tried, like we got to keep a roof over our head. We got to do this. I became a delivery driver. I did all of that stuff until the world opened back up, but ultimately I feel like this is where I'm at. And it's like, now, what do you do now? Especially now that ultimately the nightlife industry is in trouble. Like, what do you do now? What's next? you know um and nothing's beneath me, but I still want to be able to share music any way and every way that I can, and that was pretty much my whole goal back in the day too. It wasn't, you can't pay me with a bar tab, you can't keep my lights on with a bar tab, you can't do any of that. So like, it was very important to me to be like, okay, look, if you're gonna give me a $50 bar tab, why don't you just put that with, what you should pay me anyway. It's like it was never math to me, like, and I wasn't even good at math. Like, it's just like, seriously, like, seriously, like, we're not, yeah, this is, let's be adult. Let's be adult about this. Like, don't get me fucking strung out when all I ultimately wanted to do was just share music with people. That was it. And it still is. I mean, like, it never really changed. Now I just want to do it on a grander and a bigger scale. I hope someday, hopefully I'm on the path that I'm finally able to do it. But yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. I think we all share that same sentiment, man. Like
Absolutely, absolutely.
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
you know.
I think
Yeah.
the sharing of music, it's so funny because I was just talking to my fiance about this. Like DJing is such a
Shout out.
public like art form that it's so funny because whenever bedroom DJs comment under things, it's always funny because I'm like, until you're actually like sharing the music with someone, it in my mind invalidates your point because like isn't that what we're here for? Like if you spend all your time in your room not streaming, not playing this music for anyone,
Right.
then what's it what it's a whole, if a tree falls in a forest and no one's listening, does it make a noise kind of
Absolutely.
thing? Like
Absolutely.
and it's always funny whenever I see like bedroom DJs commenting on stuff. I'm like, well, just get out there. If you think you can do it better and share better music, then do it,
Mhm.
please, by
Right.
all means.
And ultimately,
Mhm.
it's difficult. I mean, it is
Yeah.
difficult. It took me forever to get started and everything, you know. And Lord knows I'm not like the best about releasing material. Like I am trying my hardest to do it, but the fact is like it does change the playing field when you, even if it's just one time,
Yeah.
you got a chance to transition from the bedroom to hell. In my case, a Bennigan's. Fuck it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That was just one of those easy gigs, by the way. I was like, yeah, like I know my claim to
It
fame was
happens,
not
bro.
my
We
claim to
all
fame in Jacksonville was not a Bennigan's. I'm just saying.
Bennigan's.
Shout out to Waldo and
Red,
Sean Pat. They gave me that first shot, and then they promptly
Shout
fired
out.
me. But like,
rent had to be paid, so things were paid.
Shout out to
Things are
Bennigan's.
okay, shout out to
Uh,
Bennigan's.
Nick, I want to do another episode with you. I want to have you on another episode. I want to dive deeper into this. There's so many topics that I want to
I'm so
touch
charming.
on.
Yes.
I don't want the listeners to just let this just go over their head at the 2 hour point and be like, oh, I've heard so much, blah blah blah. So please come back. Please join us for another episode. I want to say that before we get into some housekeeping questions that we do around here.
Thank you for having
there,
me on.
there's
Seriously.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's some questions that we always ask on here, and I want to start off with this question. If you could only take one album with you, this is the desert island, the stranded on desert island.
Wait.
I want to know what your one album is because you know a lot of fucking music, and I'm just curious what that would be.
No compilation albums either.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
the
no.
no compilations.
To quote the
Yeah.
great Bruce McCulloch from Kids in the Hall, greatest hits and compilations are for housewives and little girls. So we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the Sunshine by Roy Ayers. I think at this point in
Mm.
my life, yeah, that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Solid pick.
And yeah,
Solid pick.
Yeah.
it's
for
about the
real.
growth. Like it was a very curious thing when I was younger, but like now, I've actually lived some of those things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Mm-hmm.
cool.
To every mood. It's an every man, every mood.
That's perfect album. It's
Yeah.
a perfect fucking
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
In a perfect era for him too. Like, I mean, seriously, how many banger albums are you gonna put out, Roy? Like, seriously,
Yeah, he was on a run.
like consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Stevie, I mean, him and Stevie Wonder, like neck and neck with like just consistent albums,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like-
yes, I will include "Isn't She Lovely" in this.
I mean, you have to.
I mean, yes, I was thinking
On
like,
songs.
who would, like, seriously, okay, like, don't, yeah, come on, okay.
Going back to what you said, where there was a lot of artists that were kind of lost in the sands of time. Give me your top 3 artists that you think people need to do a little bit more research on, do their due diligence as far as Soul Train. Not, obviously not the Prince, the Michaels, the blah blah blah.
Right.
Give me 3 acts that you're like, y'all slept.
Shoot. That's a really good question. That is actually a really good question. I would like people to pay attention to Tata Vega more. Tata Vega was, of course, the original singing voice for Shug Avery in the 1985 version of The Color Purple, but her discography is fire and basically discouraged by people at Motown because they thought she was like the fattest thing ever, and she would never sell any records. So there's that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Don Blackman. I would like people to listen to Don Blackman a lot more. You would think with he was a mighty New York player at that time, late 70s, 80s, fusion, jazz, commercial stuff. Played with Bernard Wright and Lenny White, and he was
Mhm.
even in 29 and all that other stuff. Um, yeah, absolutely Don Blackman. If we're talking, are we talking back then, or are we talking like even now?
Even now,
You could say now too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, now I'm like, oh, I would like to say, oh my God, you know, I don't know if he's a part of. I'm sure he's a part of a Mount Rushmore and all of that, but I really don't think a lot of people have really dove to Bill Withers' collection either. Like, I think that Bill Withers had a whole lot of great things to say, and then he just got
Mhm.
bored with it. You know,
Mm,
so
Mhm.
Bill Withers, Don Blackman, Tata Vega. Tata
Mm.
Vega, once again, is one of my favorite voices of all time. You know,
mm.
sick.
and yeah, there we are with that.
I like that.
And
Nice.
sampled by Daft Punk too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man. You know how many times Get It Up for Love has been redone? Like, shout
Right.
out Ned Doheny, but like
Mm-hmm.
fucking good God. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love
Well, speaking of the color purple,
it.
we're gonna segue over to movies now.
All right.
Uh, so we are developing our DJ biopic cinematic universe.
Okay.
So in this DJ biopic cinematic universe, who is playing Nick Fresh?
Jupiter Williams, of course. No, I'm just
Hey,
Getting real
Yes.
meta with it. Getting real meta
Yes.
with it.
uh,
Yes.
no,
Throw me
I
for
would.
a fucking loop, that's for sure.
Oh man, I would get right. I mean, I don't know where all my hair came from, but
There we go, right?
it's gone, bro.
It's
Uh,
gone.
jealous of all these people with fucking hair. Like I don't like you at all. Okay, I'm telling you. Uh, love what you do. Um, who would I want? I've never thought about that. I've never absolutely, like, I would even want, like, man, it would be cool to get like Michael B. Jordan to be like, to play
sick.
me or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because
There you
he
go.
he could play any role.
True.
And I'd even go out on a limb, like even in his prime, like fucking Chris Tucker and
Mm.
everything. If you watch Dead Presidents again, this a friend of mine and I were
Mm.
talking about this, and I know that it's like a dead horse. Everybody beats it, like he deserved an Oscar, blah blah blah. But
Oh,
no, Chris Tucker and the subtlety and all that other stuff. I have to go with what Funk Lords and I were talking about. Shout out to Funk Lords on
child.
Instagram and everywhere. Because he brought up this point and I was thinking about it. I even watched the scene that he told me, and I was like, Chris Tucker, that's the reason why he didn't want to play, Smokey again. It was like, he was really
Mm.
trying to kind of supersede those things. I get it now.
Mhm.
I absolutely get it. And while we're here, I'm also going to say that Eddie Murphy really didn't put out a bad movie. Like he really didn't. I think it was a lot of things that really kind of was working against him, like the transvestite thing, the things that he said at the Oscars in '88, that ultimately
Mhm.
allowed people going back to the Grammys last night, like Jay-Z, to say something about Beyonce getting snubbed, but yet having all of the awards, the most awards out of
Yeah.
anybody in Grammy
Ever.
history and everything like that. So yeah, even I take Eddie Murphy with a superimposed face.
I like
No,
it.
but definitely Michael B. Jordan play me, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
sexy.
Oh, go ahead, Nick.
That nigga
I was
sexy.
gonna say shout out to
Right.
Funk Lords. I also want to shout out our buddy Jason over at Groove Line Records.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jason.
He's
Shout
also
out.
a guy that pointed us in your direction, so I definitely want to show
Yeah.
him some love.
The
Um,
demigod of all record collections right now. I'm sorry to cut you off.
truly,
I'm so sorry. I watched. We all came out on TikTok together, and to see him, like we all not came out, like not came out. Like we all we all
It was
we
a
all
group
started
video.
posting.
Everybody got together. Yeah.
Yeah,
From the
we all
announcement.
started at the same time on TikTok. It was me, the vinylist, Toxic Sludge.
Mm.
There are a few others that DJ Talk. Can't forget
Mm.
about him. We all like back in like 2020, 2021, we started posting videos and everything. And it's so nice to see, and I met Jason met him once. I went to Dallas for a podcast convention. Shout out to Tunes and Diego Martinez. That's the show that I executive produce about underrated club anthems and all of that. Slide that in there. Uh, yeah, like I met him and we went record digging. We went to this estate sale, and I mean, everything that you see on the internet is everything that Jason is. A stand-up dude, and also was on the front line during, Black Lives Matter, Fire Summer, as I like to call it, Fire Summer 2020. He was out there and everything. Don't want to call him the Tina Marie of record collectors, but he, if there is ever a black and brown centered documentary on record collectors, and I'm not saying this to kiss his ass. I swear I'm not.
No, 100%.
Jason
I'm
is
right.
just. I'm telling you, just Jason is there. Jason's right there. So yeah, seriously. And also, people that are watching, please, let's get more black and brown record collector documentaries on and out and everything, because I appreciate all the other ones, prog rock, punk rock, hardcore, all of that stuff. And I learned a lot, but it would be nice for a change to have some people that are on, that look like me, that look like you, on these shows, or these, be the subjects,
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So what we
There you
do
go.
around these parts is we like to set up our friends with fast food endorsement meals.
All
And
right.
what we would like to know is, what is the go-to meal for Nick Fresh? And it can't be local. It has to be at least regional. And this is a business endeavor, so
I wish I could go to my linen closet and show you how committed I am to Whataburger. I'm so
Hell
committed
yeah.
to Whataburger. Oh my God, listen.
We're finally getting
The
one.
best.
So shout
It's
out
the
to
best.
Whataburger.
I
It's the
have
best.
a large fried beach towel, and I have, like, the T-Rex, the Mad T-Rex t-shirt, because he couldn't get his hands around a bag of Whataburger and everything like that. Like, I I'm telling you, I am clogging my arteries for Whataburger. I am not even supposed to be eating
Yes.
this. I was doing CrossFit. I was down to 205, 6'4". I could see my dick when it was soft, but not anymore, because I go to Whataburger every weekend after a gig, at least one gig. Shout out Whataburger. Thank you, Whataburger. Seriously. And thank you for not changing your fries. You're amazing. Thank you. Okay? Seriously.
Give us the specific meals down to the drink.
Oh no.
I need the Nick Fresh meal.
Now, keep in mind, the reason why I stopped doing CrossFit was because I sprained my ankle and I got familiar with DoorDash. Like, this girl just won't leave me alone, DoorDash, Okay. Also another possible business endorsement, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, golly. Okay. So it is going to be a double meat Whataburger with 4 slices of bacon, mustard, because ketchup should not be on a burger with bacon and mustard, grilled onions,
Okay.
pickles, and 2 slices of cheese. You don't need too much, at least in my opinion. Don't need that. It's got to be a large fry in there. There's got to be an additional large fry in that. And then maybe, if I feel very risque, shout out Smell Your Dick, I definitely want a cinnamon roll. So yeah, I love it. And then, of
Wait,
course,
what are we drinking?
to top it all off, a large water. Please let me have a
Oh,
water.
Okay.
to watch our health.
Something
Gotta
like,
stay healthy. Gotta stay healthy.
Mr. Fitness.
Yeah.
Mr. Fitness at the end there.
I thought you were gonna go with the Dr. Pepper
I was
milkshake.
really
man.
expecting
No,
the
you
Dr.
know,
Pepper thing.
I don't see. I tried that. I did try it, and please, Whataburger, understand that I need the check. So don't take this out on me. But just not feeling it. They also
Hot
have
take.
they have
That's a hot take.
They have
Everybody,
a peach
I've
as
never
well.
had, but I've heard the Dr. Pepper shake is the thing.
I
It's
don't know.
amazing.
I tried
It's
it, and I'm
amazing.
like, I don't know, dog. But then
It's a
again,
hot take.
I'm also one of those guys that didn't like root beer and Coke floats.
Okay,
So it's
see.
Right, okay.
yeah,
Okay,
So I think that's
Yeah,
the
so you have a
reason why
different palate.
Yeah.
right,
You just have a
right.
different palate. Yeah.
Yeah,
Some of us
You
are
know.
water people. That's okay.
Just have to be
Something
busy for
light.
me to drink it, you know.
Yeah. A little vegan razzle dazzle
Yeah.
on the top there. I like that. Yeah. A man of health and
Yeah.
a man of a good time as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's
Party
somewhere
in
in
the
there.
front, business in the back, right?
I tell you, I'm just saying that guy that was still pushing a lot of weight. Well, not in the drug sense, but I'm just doing a lot of clarification here. The guy that was there, he's still in there somewhere. He really is, But until then, I will take that Whataburger, double Whataburger with bacon and grilled onions and all that other stuff. Have the worst food ever.
We haven't asked this question in so many episodes, but I'm bringing it back out of the dead. It's being resurrected today for one day only until we do it next week. Maybe you can only have one condiment in your fridge ever again. Just one condiment. What is it?
Mustard.
Sick.
Any yellow? Just plain straight up?
Yeah. Yellow. I mean, I would love to be fancier with it. And you didn't say spices, so I could find a way to spice up my mustard. So, like, I'll take yellow mustard. I'll take yellow mustard because you can put it literally on anything. Ketchup, whatever. Like, I learned a long time ago in the Hot Dog Association of America back in 1995, 96, that ketchup doesn't belong on a hot dog. And anybody,
I agree with that. I don't like ketchup on a hot dog.
Finally, something Nick and Nick agree on.
Yes, I'm telling you.
2 hours and 12 minutes. And
What we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for this moment.
Before we get out of here,
aren't they lovely?
Aren't they lovely?
Isn't that lovely?
Before we get out of here, I do want to shout you out and congratulate you. I know you just did the Estelle show. We've been bullshitting and laughing this whole time. You got your mix on the Estelle show. I think that's cool as hell.
Yeah, congrats.
Shout out to the Estelle show and Private Stock and all of them for asking me to do it. And this is my second time too. I appreciate it. I really do.
Hell yeah, man. I think that shit is cool as hell.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We didn't get to talk about looseness, but we definitely got to have you back so we can talk about all the stuff you're doing, man. We're loving what you're doing. We're all big fans right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, I appreciate that. Thank you, y'all. And again, I've been following the majority of y'all for years and everything, or at least I've known of you, or playing edits and all that other stuff. And I really do appreciate the work that y'all are putting in and everything to allow me to go from week to week, playing these records and things like that. So thank you so much. And I can't wait to be back. If you want to fit, if you want to fit, I'm just saying.
I need you back, bro.
Right?
We need you.
Real
We need you.
Agent M,
We'll have a real starting five.
I'm here for it. Last thing before we wrap up, Nick, one song for the 5 on 5 podcast playlist. One song that you want the world to hear.
Dare to Dream by Viola Wills, the London mix.
Sick.
Because it could be anything that we want to be. And also, for a song that came out in 1985, one of the most fantastically mixed and mastered records I have ever heard in my entire life. That bass line, synth bass, can't beat it. Okay, well, you could, but it could be debatable. But at the same time, it's fucking good, and it's good enough to be on the playlist.
Hell yeah.
Nick, let people know where they can find you on socials and anything you want to promote right now.
All right. Let's see here. NICKFRESH Alive on IG. NICKFRESH on Twitter. NICKFRESH Alive is also on YouTube and TikTok. And then there's NICKFRESH on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. I don't call it X. His mama named him Twitter. I'm gonna name him Twitter. Call him Twitter. So definitely NICKFRESH on Twitter and also on SoundCloud. I am starting to work on some edits to put out and everything to share. But definitely you will find me regularly on IG and TikTok. I do music design to move you behind every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. And you are more than welcome to listen. Fumble through these records and try to make some beautiful stuff out of it. And come on through. And also shout out to Chance for working on season 3. Diego Martinez, who's my friend and out in the Bay Area. We're working on some more, underrated dance and club anthems to talk about and break down their significance and their legacies.
Nice.
Nick
Hey,
Fresh.
why can't we bring back Soul Train and then have it like a mix of old and new? That's how Soul Train got to come back, right?
I think that's one of the ways. I honestly think, in a word or two, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
in order to know where you're going, got to know where you've been. But
right,
we have to make sure that it's not done in a way that's like corny. I
right.
think like,
Yeah.
I think nowadays everybody's so like, hell bent on the aesthetic, you know. And I think
Mhm,
essentially that's what Don was doing too. I mean, why would you have a show with the Temptations and the Beastie Boys? That happened in
mhm,
90.
mhm,
Yeah.
Like, old and
mhm.
new. Something, a little bit of something for everybody. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you
We're
get a
gonna
certain
dive
age doesn't
deeper.
mean they gotta stop working.
Right,
Exactly.
right, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
We will dive deeper into that.
yeah,
There's
for
Yes,
so
real.
much.
please.
There's so much more we need to talk about. Nick, you've already agreed to come back. We're gonna make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Fresh. Thank you.
Woo!
Yes.
There
There it
it
is.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We'll be back with another episode next week. Same time, same place. It'll be a surprise to all of us who the special guest is.
It's not.
Actually, it's
It's
no
not. It's
surprise.
not a
It's
surprise.
it's bot from Crookers.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
yeah,
nice.
it's
Nice.
it's going to be a perfect
Right on.
blog era deep dive where we talk about all the electronic music to move our behinds from the 2006, 2007, 8, 9 era.
Nice touch.
So stay tuned. Stay tuned to that. Unless we have anything else, that should do it for us. Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.